Right? Thank God you're by computer. My computer, I was warming up, and then you know when those light switches that control the power.
Hmm.
So I actually hit it, and my whole computer shut down. I'm like, I just warmed you up. So I'm like, I'm just jump on the computer, that phone, real quick.
Okay, it says it's recording. Like I said, I never use Zoom to record
Yeah,
a meeting, but I assume it's recording now. So
yeah,
where do you want to start? I guess we need to do like an intro. How you doing, everybody? This is Presley Snipes. You're on my YouTube channel, obviously. I'm here with Nicole, and I put a video up on the channel yesterday about I was sharing my thoughts on why I thought artist management wasn't a good career move from my own personal experiences, and I received some comments immediately after posting the video, and one of the comments was from Nicole, and she was expressing to me how she related to my experiences and that she had an issue where she was doing some artist management and it didn't work out and her to her advantage. So could you start telling us the story about your experience?
sure, sure. Well, it's currently still in the process of working itself out. I'm
Hmm.
still hoping that they, come. I'm trying to do it. As an artist manager, I'm looking out for the artists. So I'm trying to avoid any legal fees or processes for my artists. Still looking out for them.
Hmm.
But if where it comes to that need where I need to get my own lawyer to get what is, um, I guess, paid. I guess it would be the word. But well, let me tell you the situation. Oh, this is so much. I've been working with a legendary hip hop group, Two Live Crew, and they signed over their rights 35 years ago. And I met them because I was working with Rodney O, and Rodney O introduced me to Brother Marquise because he actually was the one that got Brother Marquise into Two Live Crew. And then I was talking to Brother Marquise, and he, great man, awesome man. And he was telling me how it all got stolen from the group. And what happened was Luke was managing, Uncle Luke, he was managing the group, and he had so much going on, and he hired an attorney to help him make sure that he does it legit. And that attorney came in and saw the books and goes, I'm going to push this guy into bankruptcy and then buy the rights.
Wow.
So he ended up loaning Luke $1 million that Luke never asked for. And then he's like, oh, now you are in debt to me. And
Wow.
then kind of push other clients to push him over the edge. And then ended up having a firehouse bankruptcy sale where Luke had to get rid of the rights. And he bought the rights for $800,000.
Wow.
It's
So
funny too because the lawyer that was on his team got him outside counsel to represent him in those cases that he needed to pay. And that lawyer that he got outside counsel wasn't even an entertainment lawyer. But you're there for that reason, right? It's so fraudulent and it's robbery. That's what upset me about that situation.
so wait, I'm trying to understand it. So Luke was young. He had a record label. Luke, he was known as Luke Skywalker because I mean, it's a lot of people. I was born in the '80s, so I
Uh-huh.
remember Luke, Two Live Crew, and the whole story. I had to do a little background. But so Luke he was managing, and they were under Luke's label. And he had a group called Two Live Crew, and he got a lawyer to help handle his business affairs.
Well, what
Um,
happened was Luke was great marketing and branding. He's an
uh,
exceptional business mind as far as branding and marketing and promotion, and he
yeah,
knows how to gain attention.
a legend. He's a legend,
He's a
without a
legend. Yeah,
question. Yeah.
I can't take that from that man. And he Two Live Crew is originally from California in
Mhm.
Riverside. So they had an album already. Luke liked them and had them come do a show over there in Florida. And that's where their audience was mainly growing. So it made sense for them to go over there. And then Luke was such like doing so much for them as far as the shows, he ended up becoming part of the group too.
Mhm.
And then he changed the sound somewhat with Mr. Mix into that booty hopping and club music sound too.
Yeah.
So, and then Brother Marquise was the main lyricist on it with founder Chinaman. So together with the minds of the comedy of Mix and Uncle Luke, and then the lyricists of Chinaman and Brother Marquise, they made a great group. But due to the lyrics being so obscene, the state of Florida arrested them when they were on stage, and they ended up going to the Supreme Court and fighting for the free speech, and they won it. So there's a reason why hip hop and music and everyone else can say what they want to say without being jailed or being banned. And that's how banned in the USA came to be by the Two Live Crew. It's a
I
lot.
read about that an hour ago. They were some of the pioneers of the parental advisory explicit
Oh no!
lyrics
Well,
label.
actually, Luke and them invented that logo because they
They
got
invented
like
it.
our kids can't be seeing that, and he's like, well, you know what? The movies do it, so let me just do that for. And he's actually the one that designed it and created it.
Wow. I didn't know it was Luke. I just thought it was
Luke
just
is
a
a great
combination
business
of.
mind. Unfortunate that he has so much on his table. Huh?
I didn't
What are you
realize it
saying?
was actually Luke, but I thought it was just a combination of all the hip hop with curses and everything. But it seemed to me like he was one of the main reasons why that happened. But you said he was the reason.
He's the one that created it, and they're the ones that put it on their CD because their lyrics were so obscene at that time and very vulgar, I guess
Yeah,
you could say. So Uncle Luke, but he, like I said, he's the one that was like the hype man. He was
yeah,
great at getting the crowd hyped up,
yeah,
and he was great as far as marketing and pushing the group,
yeah,
and that's what he did. And he created such. But you got to remember, the group actually originally did an album on their own, Chinaman, and Chinaman met Mr. Mix in the military in Riverside, and they formed a group together. And the fact that Chinaman was from Trinidad, he's an immigrant, came to the United States, served our country, and then pushed the grassroots marketing, got his album out there where Uncle Luke and them were able to hear it and get gigs on the other side of the country.
on the other side of the country. That's what I was about to say.
That's alone in itself, that group was awesome to do that.
Yeah, yeah. There was no internet back then.
Yeah. Oh no, everything was pure. That's pure passion. That's pure
Yeah,
drive. That's something that artists lack nowadays. They want
yeah.
everything.
It's easy. It's so easy now. People don't even realize what. I don't even think a lot of the newer artists you can even digest what you're saying because you press a button and you just got something that's all over the internet. People from Cali across the world can watch your stuff. But yeah, it was a big deal to be from the East Coast and people on the West Coast actually connecting with you.
Well, even like Ronnie O from Ronnie O and Joe Cooley, they're
Mm,
another hip hop legend group. He was like 13 years old driving his mom's Cadillac to LA trying to get his album heard by Egyptian Lover and everyone over there. So he
mm,
was an individual that was pushing his own music himself. And
mm.
he still had time to look out for Brother Marquise because Brother Marquise actually learned how to write lyrics by Rodney O. It's such a great story amongst these legends. These are like the unseen legends
And a lot
that
of these
actually created
they're
it.
untold. Seems like a lot of these stories are untold because now everyone has access to the internet and someone can just pull out their phone and tell their story. But a lot of these people, these are untold stories. A lot of the stuff gets undocumented,
Well, it's because
probably.
they're older and they don't know how to actually technology to them is like
Yeah,
what? And
yeah.
that's something I'm trying to teach them as well. It's like you need to become fan. In fact, this Brother Marquise bugging me right now. He's been
So let's go back to the lawyer. Now you said there was a lawyer that Luke he found or and
Joe Weisenberger.
Joe
He
Weisenberger. So he
Little Joe Records now. Now he's a record label. How convenient. He went from an attorney to also wanting to open his own label after he pushed Uncle Luke into bankruptcy. Isn't
Oh,
that
well, I mean,
funny?
once you see it's $1 million check coming from music, you're like, hey, I need to open up a
Well,
music
it
label.
was so corrupt. Like it was so corrupt, and it's kind of like what's going on right now. It was so corrupt. How can you not like call malpractice or what I mean, like something in that nature? Like it's obvious what he did. He had
Yeah.
no idea about music business, saw the money, and then all of a sudden decides to push him into bankruptcy. And he even gets him a lawyer to defend him when he's a lawyer himself.
Mm.
Like if you know he's in bankruptcy and you're going to make him pay outside counsel when you're the lawyer that's supposed to be defending him, and then you get him a lawyer that's not even an entertainment lawyer. And, and Luke was young, the group was young, and Little Joe, or they call him Little Joe, the lawyer, Joe Weisenberger, he knew how to do the divide and conquer. He was in every one of their ears. So he was able to divide them, cause them to go and push a lawsuit against Luke, causing more bankruptcy.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually,
Torturous interference is what it's
yeah,
called.
there you go. Perfect. And the thing is like before this, the group had no contract with each other. Everyone split everything equally.
Mm.
Like even for the lyrics from everything was equal. It was when Atlantic signed them after their first album that they said we needed a contract.
Wow. So Luke's own lawyer turned his own group against him. This sounds very familiar. I mean, this is very similar to my situation. Not to go off, but what happened with me
Oh.
was it was a lawyer that I was working with. I won't say his name. I won't say his name because
Oh, did you sign a clause? You could say his name.
no, I'm not going to say his name because a part of me looks at him like a friend.
Okay,
I
then.
thought he was my friend, but I won't even put him on blast like that because
But
he's
sometimes they can be friends and they can't be business. Like I've dealt with that. It's like we're good friends, but we just ain't gonna do business.
yeah. And what happened was I made the mistake of introducing my lawyer to my artist. My lawyer
Oh,
and my artist should have never met. I should have just been telling my lawyer what I needed from him,
yeah.
and that was that. And he really didn't. He never had to meet my
There's no
artist.
need.
He never needed to talk to him because the minute my lawyer and my artist started talking, it seemed like they started excluding me from the business.
Oh yeah,
And
you're the
it was like,
middleman
wow, I
now.
brought this whole situation together.
I've been there
And
too.
it seems like this is what lawyers do, and it's
Not
nothing.
all of them. It just it's human nature. Some people have it, and some people like you're a man of integrity. I feel, and so am I. But there's some people that aren't, and it's
Mhm.
the ones that we have to weed out. But that was
Yeah,
an unfortunate situation. Not all lawyers, because in fact, the lawyer that I got to work this case, he is so good. He actually took the case for the termination of a copyright on a contingency basis, meaning he don't get paid until he wins.
yeah.
And I've been working back and forth with him for the last a year and a half, 2 years.
Hmm.
And he has not. I asked him questions, and he's like, "I go figure it out." But I'm like trying to because there's a lot of red tape that goes into that what's going on. So I don't want to jump what I was telling you before. But yeah, so that's how they lost the music rights when the lawyer came in and did that.
Okay,
And then
so
what the lawyer did,
wait. So I'm just trying to be clear. So basically, he owned when he did that. He owned their copy. They already produce the 3 or 4 albums, or would they
they
just have
produced
one?
one. They
Uh,
did one already on their own without
okay,
Luke, and with actually the original three members. And that one of the members didn't follow them to Florida, and that's why they hired Brother Marquise to join the band. So then that's when Brother Marquise came when the one of the originals dropped out,
hmm,
and then Uncle Luke joined it because he was doing all the marketing, management, and hype stuff. And then they had so one album without Uncle Luke and Brother Marquise, and then they did an album together, and that's when Little Joe pushed Uncle Luke into bankruptcy and all that, and they got the rights sold. Because Uncle Luke, when Uncle Luke got the lawyer says there needs to be a contract, and when he wrote the contract, he made sure he had the rights. Uncle Luke had the rights, which in a way it's. But I think he was just listening to what the lawyer, because the lawyer had a plan. You know what I
oh,
mean? Because
so
before that, it was all theirs. Everything was equal.
it was equal. So since he loaned Luke the money, he made it so that Luke was the main copyright holder,
In
and
a
they
way,
were
but
signed under Luke
yeah, when he was advising them on how to do it correctly, his advisement was to own the copyrights.
to run the label, to own the
Yeah, to
label,
run the
and they
label
were
and all that stuff.
signed under his record label. And if he owes
Exactly.
him money, then he
And
owns
then
the label. I get
there,
it.
so he doesn't have to go after every one of them. He just has to go after one
You have to
person.
go Luke. Yeah, yeah.
That's what he did, in my opinion. That's how and I had to go through. I when I heard about this case, I was so disheartened and upset because this isn't right. Because I learned about the music industry because my daughter started getting into it, and as a mother, I don't want to get scammed, and as I want to protect her as well. So
Mhm,
I learned it out. So I made sure everything was going according to the way it should, and
mhm.
I learned so much. And I'm like, there's no way an artist could learn what I learned and do the art.
Be
It's
successful at the art. Yeah,
it's too much.
yeah.
So
It, it almost
my
makes you,
daughter,
not to cut you
huh?
off, it almost makes you not want to get into the art because you're like, oh man, I don't
There's
want
so
this.
much.
Yeah, I don't want to be
There's
taken
so
advantage of. So
much.
it messes up the creativity. But go ahead.
And it's there's so much, and it's yeah, it's like an artist that doesn't want to do the business. They can't have the. There's some that's rare, but I thrive off the business part, which is my creativity. And luckily, my daughter was the one that could sing. But when I was learning all this information, I go, "There's. It's so easy to take advantage of artists. It's so easy." But
Yeah.
then it's like artists are so trusting. Like I'm like, "Hello," like your people are telling you to do things like you're not questioning it, or like, okay, what does it? No one questioned anything. So even when a studio opened up down here, and this guy was getting all these artists to do like these song camps and whatnot, he was having them do songwriting camps. I'm like, but is he teaching you about split sheets, copyright, BMI, or he just taking your music and the winner goes to iTunes and if it hits, it's his? He's
Yeah.
not teaching you the business part of it. I was like, oh my goodness, this is not cool. So then I started talking to the parents at those songwriting things. I go, you know what he's doing, right? You should get a split sheet and make sure that you guys are registered to the song. And he didn't like me very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's getting upset about that. But yeah, there's so much to learn. So when I talked to Brother Marquis and he told me that his rights got taken to groups, I went through so many court paperworks, so many articles that were written about them back then. It was like it's an untold story, and it's so flabbergasting because it's like that guy's still out there and for 35 years has owned his. He's been making so much money off of this group, and they've
Wow.
been and actually he kind of extorted them because he made it to the point where they would have to ask him for money, and
Yeah.
then now they owed him money.
Owe him
I
more money.
barely like about it's about a year ago. I barely got BMI, Brother Marquise's BMI rights, music royalties back to him
Wow.
because he wrote them off to him because of some loan he did. But these are loans that are 10,000, 30,000, not like the money that they actually made with millions of dollars that over the last years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow.
And he even sued the members. Like, but Mr. Mix can't um, use Two Life Crew without being sued by Little Joe.
Because he owns the rights to the name.
Oh, and the trademark because
Wow.
Chinaman so much, so much. Yeah, Chinaman and him. I guess before his death, there was some paperwork in lingo. And Uncle Luke was cool because when he went parted ways with the group, he signed over the Two Life Crew trademark to Chinaman. He gave it back. It wasn't like he was trying to keep it. He gave it back. So a Chinaman, unfortunately, I guess ended up still like they're a young, naive group and
Yeah.
trusted this too much. And now they all hate him.
Well,
Except for working with them because he has to, because that's the only way he can survive.
well, you know what it is. What I noticed, why they like to keep hip hop young, and why there's this image of, oh, get these old rappers out of here. We just want to hear the new. We just want to hear the new. Well, that's because you just they want to get the older people out of here because the older people start knowing the business, and now they become harder to. You can't sign them to these same agreements. So let's
You
get
would
some 18-year
think,
olds that don't. Let's get somebody fresh out of high school that doesn't know anything about the business because they're easy to take advantage of. And
well, you would think that the older legends wouldn't know the business by now, but they're so wounded and so like what they've been through is so emotionally and it's devastating. It's
yeah,
devastating. So when I approach these artists because they went through so much, it's like approaching a wounded animal. They
yeah,
don't know who to trust. They don't know if I'm lying or what's my intention. So to gain these artists' trust, in fact, be able to represent them in the way that I have is astonishing that they trust me, and I'm honored that they do. So I don't want to let them down. But at the same time, it was so hard to get them to trust me because like I'm looking out for you. Let's give back what was stolen. I'm
so
they're
what
like, it's not gonna happen. Little Joe has lawyers, they're like he's a big time lawyer in Florida, everything's rigged over there. I go, I have Christ, God's good. Let's do this. Like let's just go after it. And like, no, it's not gonna happen. And we don't even have all the group doesn't talk, and you need the majority of the group to go ahead and get their rights back. And yeah, there's a lot of loops to jump through and mountains to move. But artists are so wounded, the legends are so wounded. Like Warren G, even right now, he wants his music rights back. And bless his heart, he says that he wants his music rights back. And then they're asking him, well, how did you do that? He's like, I asked them.
mm,
If they were so kind that you could just ask them to return your rights, they would have done it a long time ago. And the
yeah,
fact some main people and they're not letting him know about this copyright clause where you could get your rights back in 35 years. He could go obtain it. He could take them back legally. And I'm like, all these people, no one's telling you. So I'm like, can someone get word to him that he could get his rights back now? Because he's had this like a time frame, like a 5-year time frame between the 35 years. Is that the time he could submit it. Otherwise, after that time frame passes, it's gone.
Mm.
So this is like a second bite out of the apple, they say. You could get your right back. So now you can. That's why you see movies coming back, like with Smurfs and Transformers and all the Marvels, because
Yeah,
the people who originally created it are now getting the rights back and now trying to market it to get their money from it
I
because
understand.
originally they sold it. So that's why all this is coming back now.
Well, that makes sense now that you said that, because I used to always wonder why are they trying to remake this? The original was the classic. Why are they trying to redo this? And you're like, oh yeah, because the originators of it probably didn't make any money off it, or they want to
Right.
re-exploit it. And I was just reading about that, why they give the clause that allows you to get your copyright back after 30 years, because they say it's for the naive artists that may have signed a
Exactly for what
scrupulous
Two Life
deal.
Crew. Like,
You know,
and Two Life Crew has set so many court cases as far as a parody with Pretty Women. That's like if you go to law school, you're going to hear about Two Life Crew, and that's going to be in your test. Like the lawyer that I spoke to and got him on board was like, "You will be in history now because not only did Two Life Crew do the First Amendment Supreme Court and won, they also did the parody law. They're like that's a case that they all refer to, and now they'll be the first like hip hop group, legendary hip hop group that will gain the rights back. Because right
I,
now there's YMCA that does it. YMCA, Victor Willis, he's done it. So it was like now that'll be another. So like this is exactly why this law is in state was created for artists, a group just like that. I mean, if I could be a lawyer, I could easily state this case and go and like do the whole telling the judge exactly why this is it needs to be done because this is why the law was created.
uh
If you look at the president with this group, it says that you're not following what the reason why the law was made by the Congress.
uh
So it's plain and simple as day. But we know that there's going to be pushback because what who wouldn't want to keep that money?
uh yeah,
So I mean, the label Lil Joe's going to lawyer up, and that's what labels want. They want to lawyer up and then take you to court, and knowing that these artists are broke or have no money, pretty much they can't fight the long haul.
yeah.
So I had to make sure I got a lawyer that would be willing to fight the long haul and know we could win.
So at what point did you come into the case and the whole scenario, and how did you go about
Well,
at
well,
what year was it when you started working on this situation for them?
about 2 years ago, I actually I'm a original sports writer. So I did a rally for the Raider Nation in Rosarito, and my partner wanted to hire Rodney O to perform. So I had him perform, and then he liked the way I handle business. And he goes, Nicole ain't no punk. He always said, Nicole ain't no punk. He goes, let's work together. So then, in order to work and serve him well, I started doing the history about him. And then I found out that Brother Marquise and him did actually a group together. And in my opinion, they actually have the first like rap before before Ice T with
Mm.
the 6 and 8 a.m. in the morning. They actually have the like the it's they were oh their name just slips my mind right now. But I learned about that group, and then I learned about Brother Marquise, and then I started researching Brother Marquise to get some more information about Rodney, and then that's when I found out about what happened to Two Life Crew, and that didn't sit well with me.
So it just became like a passion project for you,
Yeah,
working,
and he's
helping a friend.
yeah. I was like, let me figure. I can get your music. He's like, no, it can't happen. And he was like, he's been beaten. Of course, he's gonna say no. Like, no, they lawyer up. I'm like, okay, look, since you doubt it, there's no risk in me trying, right?
Yeah,
Like, I'm no one anyway, so let me do it. I go, I'm just gonna see if I can do it. If I can't, like, I'll see if I cross off all the checks, and if I keep crossing them off and keep pushing forward, then let's just do it. So when
mm,
the group doesn't talk, and I'm like, okay, let me worry about that. Chinaman's passed away. Okay, let me worry about that. But let me have permission to try it. And he's like,
yeah,
okay, try it. And so I'm like, okay. And then I had to deal with contacting the heirs of Chinaman after he passed and getting them to trust me and explaining to them what was at stake for them and their family. Because now it's unfortunate their dad passed away and wasn't able to leave them anything, but now we could get that back.
yeah.
And then we had, so once I got them on board, my brother Marquise and Chinaman's family, and there's 4 of them. So I had to, like, it took some while. I had to get the contract from 35 years ago.
Wow. It's
Because I needed this case to present it to a lawyer to seal the deal that there's
yeah.
no thing to come back and say, well, this is what the law, or they have the contracts and we don't. I had to kind. So I went to Pacer, that court Pacer website, and just
I'm
started
not
just like
familiar with.
researching everything. I learned about the bankruptcies. I learned about G Money or JT Money and what happened with him, Thompson. I know more by his last name because of the court paperwork than his
JT
artist
Money.
name.
Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that? Who that?
From oh, he's another legend. Well, because
JT
you know,
Money.
yeah,
Yeah,
his last name's
he had a hit
Thompson.
song in the '90s.
Well,
Who that?
Little Jones,
Really?
because he was under Uncle Luke's label, and
I didn't know that.
Uncle Luke owned his copyright, and when he sold it, he was part of the copyright.
So every artist that Luke ever signed, Little Joe owned all that.
Now he does, yeah, but they could get the rights back.
Well, I mean, after maybe like in the '90s or the
Well,
2000s.
was it 94? It happened. 96 was the bankruptcy sale. So every artist that Luke signed up into 96 and he had the copyrights to is now Little Joe's.
Wow, wow. I mean, it's the music business. I mean,
And I give JT Money credit because he actually did try to fight him, and he could have won if when you go to court, you have to word it a certain way, and if they don't tell you this is what you should say or this is how you could beat it. If you don't come to them correctly with the way you can win, they just say, "Oh, that's not going to work." But he was on the right path. There's ways he probably could have won it back then, but since no one was telling him like this is how you win it, and they're not going to tell you, it's like okay, nope. But he had to go back and like it's the way you word it or present it that can make you win it. Really,
that's why they call it counsel. I got good counsel.
I guess yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's a counselor. Yeah, it's a counselor.
Exactly.
A lawyer is called a counselor. So
So when I heard about them not getting the rights back, I was actually in the shower, and I'm a true believer in Christ, and he goes, "Go get his rights back. There's a way to research it." I'm like, "Okay." So I told Brother McKees, I go, "I got to do this. I'm gonna go study the law, and there's a way to get it back." Because I was trying to go the other way as far as malpractice and fraud and all that, but then I'm like, in the shower, he thought there's another way. So I went to the Constitution and then the law, and then I'm like, oh, and it just so happened to be in the time frame 35 years.
hmm,
I'm like, yeah, it's time. Let's go. It's go
yeah,
time right now. And then he's like, well, then you got to call so once I got I could figure out a way. He's like, well, then when no one's talking, well, let me talk. You don't have to talk. I'll talk.
yeah,
So I was able to go talk to the Chinaman's family and got them on board. And then I had to learn about the estate planning for them because it's confusing about who heads the estate and all that stuff. Because you
hmm,
want to make sure if they get it back, that it's going to be used in a way that's beneficial to them in the long run,
yeah,
or it gets stolen by taxes, or it's going to get, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So, because another point, like if you get it back and then they don't know what to do with it, or the group is not talking, so how they can agree on a new publishing contract if they're all not on the same? So it's like that's
yeah,
another thing that I learned on halfway through it. It's like if I get this back, are they going to be able to get what it's worth, or am I just getting it back just so they can have it back?
yeah.
So it's like then you have to educate them on exactly what they're going to be able to get back and music placement.
It's a lot of work. That sounds like you had to do.
Yeah, I teach them about music placement. This is how you so even like the music placement, you're supposed to get the authors that created the songs approval. That's another case in itself that I could go for a little. I'm thinking about going for, but it's like I have the lawyer busy already. I
Mhm.
can't keep pushing all this stuff on him. So so yeah, there was a lot of process to do, and then the contract of finding the 35-year contract was Chinaman had an associate named Stanley. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. But right before he died, I don't know, there was a bag that Chinaman happened to slip to Stanley. And in that bag was the contracts.
Wow.
So he even got death threats about those contracts. And he never, and so it was like for them to trust me, for him to trust me and give them to me and
Wow.
work with me to figure all the paperwork out. it was an honor, like, because he didn't know who to trust. Like, he's like, they told me, like, they wanted these. And so it's like no one knew he had it because it wasn't like a family member. It was just an associate of his that
Yeah.
Chinaman trusted, and he happened to get to him right before he passed away. Because even his sons did not have it.
Wow. You
So,
know,
but his sons, I talked to his son. I go, "Can I get the paperwork?" He said, "Well, I got to go to Stanley." I'm like, "Okay." So Stanley, so he was able to give some to Chris and whatnot, and I was able to work with Stanley to work it out where I could get it all in order. So I had so much information that it was like I was able to read like exactly if it was a work for hire. Because if it's a work for hire and you're trying to get your rights back after so long, they automatically say, "Oh no, you sold it off at that point. You're just an employee."
mm,
But even then, I could probably fight that case because that's exactly the naiveness of the young group and why that law was instated. Not for because you didn't know that back then, you
yeah.
know. So I was going already thinking I could get past that kind of loophole, but there was no clause for that. But I did see how little Joe, when he ended up breaking up the group, he signed to Live Crew. After they got rid of Luke, they signed to little Joe signed to Live Crew to his label he
Mm,
created after the bankruptcy. So after he pushed Uncle Luke into bankruptcy, he ended up making his own label, Little Joe Records, and then he signed to Live Crew after being in the group's ear. And
wow.
then in his contract, they signed transferred the rights of all the other songs, albums after that. So not only was he able to gain the rights from prior, he was able to gain the rights from the next.
Future. Yeah, the future recordings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. It's a lot, right?
Yeah, and that's why I've encountered that problem where I've dealt with artists that'll come to me saying, "Hey, I'm in a bad agreement. I'm in a bad agreement. Can you help me out?" I say, "Well, let me see the contract." And he said, "Oh, I'll get back to you." Then a week would go by and I call him. I say, "Hey, where's the contract?" "Oh, I can't find it." And I
The
just
funny
want to
thing is
say,
that you call them. You call like I do that too. It's like, why are we following up on something like we want to help you and we're following up with you? That must be something inside managers that it's like an instinct or that has to be one of our traits as a manager to become because that we go out, we want to help.
yeah, and I mean, there's a platinum plaque behind me for a situation that was I got that plaque for helping on a publishing deal, and for my cousin, and I'm not going to get into it too much because I don't want to speak about his situation too much, but I was helping him with the deal. He actually made a hit song, my blood cousin, my cousin's
Oh, really?
son, and he was in a contract, and I said, well, let me see your contract, and he didn't have the contract. So I just wanted to add to it that if you're an artist, um, keep your contracts, and if you
Yes.
can't keep up with paperwork, take a picture of the contract and email it to yourself. That's all you have to do.
Well,
Because
honestly, too, if you have a contract, by all, I mean, legal, I mean, the law is if you go ask that person you made the contract with for a copy, they have to give
they
it to you.
have to give it to you.
Because I learned
Sometimes they
that in a
won't.
bad gym agreement, a fitness gym agreement. I'm like, I was like, why do you guys keep taking money out of my account? And then I went to a lawyer, like, by law, they have anyone you make a contract with has to give you a copy of it.
But sometimes they won't. They'll hit the
Oh, they give you the
label.
runaround.
They'll try to bully, and they won't. They'll say, well, talk to our lawyer, and then the lawyers a lot of times they won't even respond to a civilian. They want to respond. They'll respond to another lawyer though, because they've been, oh, this guy's a
Yeah,
lawyer, he has representation, they're not playing, I can get sued. Now they want to respond when you respond with a lawyer, but a lot of these artists don't have a lawyer. And even me, they'll get an email from a Prestley Snipes and they'll say, who the F is this guy? And and they'll give me the runaround, and it's just tough. But yeah, you got to keep your contracts, because later on you can't say, how can you claim you're being ripped off if you can't show someone your contract? It's just so
exactly.
important to keep your paperwork.
So
Okay.
those contracts really sealed the deal for me, where I was like, okay, now I got the ribbon on it. Like this is because I didn't want to approach Uncle Luke with a possibility because he's a businessman. I got to make sure it's a real deal. I couldn't come with him like, I think I can, or I want to this is what I done. This is how it's going to work. And I just need you to sign.
Yeah.
And it was like everyone, the group was kind of nervous about going to him. They're like, oh, what if I guess because since they worked with him and who he is and how he worked with them, there was a different perception and how they felt about him. Me, however, I did respect him as a businessman, but I didn't have that experience where I'm like, I guess, intimidated or worried or knew him any different than just a man. So when I was able to approach him and explain to him, I respect him for what he's done, and I wanted to let him know I wanted to help, and this is what I'd done. He was all for it. But everyone else thought he's gonna be like egotistic. I'm like, he wasn't even nothing like you guys thought, you know. He actually, why wouldn't he want his music back? But I think it's what little Joe did that whole time was in their ear. So the perception of each other is what little Joe put in their ear. So they
Yeah.
really don't even really know each other.
Mm.
It's amazing that they actually work so long together and they really don't know each other as individuals or as men now.
Yeah.
Because I've talked to each one of them and they're great men individually
Yeah.
that just at the time just didn't know how to protect themselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're just trying to make some money and money is the motive, then we're all friends. When
Well,
it
the thing
comes to
is,
making money.
well, that's the thing. The money wasn't the motive. They were actually like kids having fun.
Having
Come on,
fun.
you gotta think about it. These are young boys actually thinking about sex and talking about it and getting attention about it and having a good time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. So when they got money, they're like, okay, it's good. They didn't realize how much money they were supposed to be making
It was icing on the cake, but they didn't realize what was really at
because they
stake.
were actually doing what they love
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
having fun at it.
But that's
And
what
that's
makes,
something that's missing with artists now. It's
yeah.
like they're doing it for that money, the bag. But that's why I always ask artists, I go, I need to know what your purpose is. Why did you even start writing? Because if you don't know why the purpose you're doing it, you're going to sway every which way. And I need to know whatever I'm backing is for a reason. So I
Yeah.
need to know why you were even start. Like, was it because you were lonely at school and you came home and you were able to dance and sing your head off in the bedroom, and now you want other kids to be able to do the same thing? I can get behind that.
Mm.
But if you tell me you want to do tours or if you want to uh, music placements are all for the bag, that means you're swayed from any which way. There's no integrity behind what your music stands for.
Mm.
Like where you said you bonded with your grandma during country music, and that's why you do. I get that because now you're never going to let go of why you're doing it. It's because of that connection with your grandmother. And when it's so close to the artist, it keeps the consistency of the purpose and why they're doing it loyal to you and their music.
Yeah.
And so they need to know, like, so if someone tells me I just want to do tours or I just want to be famous, I can't work with you. Like you might have the talent and all, but once I get you to the gatekeeper, what's gonna happen to me?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It has to be a deeper purpose. I had that same problem. My thing, it was just about passion at the time. I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and it was just something I wanted to do. My uncles, I remember growing up, I'm seeing them have gold and platinum records in the house. So I seen that as
Oh,
that's what I wanted
yeah.
to achieve. And I didn't think about the money, the publishing, the copyright, the long term. I was just thinking, this is what I want to do. I'm gonna get my platinum plaque. It felt like a validation for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could be peers with my elders if I just
Mm-hmm.
get these awards. So it wasn't even about the money. I knew if I was doing what I loved, money was gonna come, and money was coming. So
Uh-huh.
it was never, I was never living in a poverty stricken situation. So I never was solely thinking about doing anything just to make money because I come from money. My family always they were businessmen. If there
You're
wasn't
blessed. That's
my
awesome that you could do
family,
that.
what'd you say?
That, that's blessed. That's awesome that you could do that. That's blessed. God had a purpose for you already. He already knew, set you up.
Yeah, and I mean, even though there were bad business deals behind all the business that I might have seen, money was never my motivation to get in the music business. It was just, I felt like there was just the family business that I was getting into.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
don't know.
same here. I fell into it because I wanted to protect my daughter. And once I knew so much information, there's no way I could stay silent. And if I
Yeah.
could help, I wanted to help. And the
Mhm.
thing is, actually, I was stabbed and left for death by my husband when my kids were 1 and 2.
Wow.
Um, they told me I was going to pass away because of my a system I had that he caused when I was 26. I'm 42. I just turned 42.
You're
And so
still young.
they put me on Social Security since I was 24. So I've been able to raise my kids at home. They're now in universities. And when they ended up graduating, I kind of got like that empty nesting kind of stuff, and I knew all this information. So I took on artists to be the mother to, or like to nurture and love and to like encourage. And
Yeah.
then that filled my need. I guess gave me a purpose, and that's how I ended up working so hard and going after what Brother Marquise and the group deserved. Because I'm like the mother bear, like, oh, you're not going to do this, not on my watch. Once I know about it, I'm going to go get it. Like, I want
So
to get the back.
so you filed you found the lawyer, and then you filed the correct paperwork in order for them to get their rights back.
Well, what I did to find a lawyer, I had to make sure a lawyer was going to be a good lawyer where he knew what he was like needed to do, as well as a man that understood why they deserved it so bad,
Yeah.
like why they were deserving of it. So, and that understood the law. You'd be surprised how many lawyers don't understand it or don't even want to touch it because it's so complicated.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so complicated
It's time.
because you have to go back into the copyright site and get the publishing number, the transfer number, like when they transferred it, all that. So it's
Yeah.
a lot of for an artist that doesn't have money and doesn't even know any of contracts and whatnot. So they don't even want to touch it.
Yeah.
So I started looking at the copyright articles, and I'm like, okay, this guy, I like what he's saying here. So I reached out to him. I go, I just read an article, and I think I would like you to maybe possibly advise me on some situation. I have a group, da 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 da. And he was so kind enough to reach back. He goes, well, possibly it could work, but are they a group talk? And I'm like, no, no, no. So, well, yeah, you would need. I go, okay, and I studied it, and I'm like, well, what if because you need a majority if it's a group, you need a majority of them to go on in the case. Otherwise, it's nothing can happen. But if it
Mm.
was an individual artist, you could do it. But then I found out that YMCA Victor Wallace, he was in a group, but he ended up going solo and doing it. So I'm like, if I have to get Brother Marquise's money solo, I could do it that way too.
Yeah.
It's easier. It's an easier route to get the group. But at the same time, the lawyer didn't know how dysfunctional the background of the group was.
Yeah.
His thing was like, get the group. And I'm like, why can't we just do it the individual? And I could work it, I could tell you how to do it. But for him, he's thinking the group was easier. So for me, it was a lot more work because I got to go get all that group together and
Yeah.
figure
And
out.
plus, a class action lawsuit is a lot better for a lawyer because he gets more legal fees. I mean, if he's,
Well, I was going to work it since Brother Marquise did make a majority of the lyrics. He created Hoochie Mama, Hood Rat. Well, actually, Brother Marquise is the one that created 99 Problems and a Bitch Ain't One.
mm,
He kind of praised with Ice-T's album. So what happened was Ice-T was talking to Brother Marquise, and they were talking, and Brother Marquise has a way with words, like his little sayings, and he threw that out there. I got 99 problems with a bitch ain't one.
yeah,
And I think that could be a song. So let's go into the studio. And they made it a song. And then Jay-Z now pays Ice-T for those rights, and they get paid. Unfortunately, Brother Marquise doesn't.
well, so Brother Marquise's rights when he was writing for like Ice T,
Well, it was like
Lil Joe on that.
it was like friends getting together and singing, right? That's what it was. It wasn't like, okay, we're gonna make money. Like, hey, that should be a song. Let's go in the studio. And they did it for fun. So Brother Marquise didn't say, okay, give me my cut. And he just like, oh yeah, let's go do this.
So Luke owned Brothers Marquise's publishing, and Little Joe owned the publishing of Luke's record label.
That was in the late 90s. That happened with Brother Marquise and Ice-T. This is
Oh, that was
after.
after
Yeah.
the Little
That's
Joe.
another situation that Brother Marquise should have made money off of.
Wow.
But yeah, you can't go back and get it back.
Yeah, because it's spent or it just went to someone else's bank account.
I would like to do, and I would like to Ice-T to do, is to mend the copyright and include Brother Marquise as an author on that, just so he could get his legendary credit as the songwriter that he is. Just out of respect as a mutual peer in the business, Ice-T should offer that to him. I'm not asking for back royalties. I'm not asking for any. I would like for Ice-T to I would like to sit and talk to him and ask him if that would be a possibility, just so that Brother Marquise could die having that on his on his as part of his legendary. He's a legend. So
This hurts. Let's hearing this. I'm really I'm feeling this pain because I know I get publishing checks. I live off of part of my income is from publishing checks. And you know what I mean? To not have that right now, to think about someone taking advantage of that, because that feeds my family. And I mean, you know, I never know
Artists back
one
then didn't
year.
even know there's a publishing. They didn't even know about that.
Wow.
Like they're barely finding out about BMI royalties.
Damn, this hurts to hearing
He
this.
even getting his BMI royalties as a performer until he met me.
Wow.
So I was able to get that back to him. And that's very minuscule compared to what publishing is. And the fact that he divided it amongst the group percentage when really he's like 50-50 and
Yeah.
then the beat, you know. So like, oh, it's so frustrating. Now you see where
No,
my frustration came from.
I feel broken right now. Just listen, like I feel the pain. Like it's just not fair. Not to go off topic, but I was just watching. I don't know if you watched Dave Chappelle's latest Instagram post where he explained that Comedy Central did the same thing to him with the Chappelle show. Everybody thought he made a lot of money off of the show, but he actually signed an agreement, which was a bad agreement. He was 28 years old and he got no syndication rights. And all the money gets made with the syndication. You know, when the show is off and now they want to put it on the repeats on, you're supposed to get millions. Sometimes people get millions of dollars.
Oh, the residuals. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Dave said he
Oh,
wasn't
exactly
getting
what
any of it.
Brother Marquise came at. Brother Marquise, 99 pounds and a bitch ain't one. All that stuff that it's been like that should have been money in his
That,
pocket.
you know how much money that would have been? Like that
Yeah.
was a Jay-Z single. A
Yeah.
Jay-Z
And
single is
people
gonna
have
make,
done covers of it, remixes of it. They coined,
man.
they've done merchandise of it. They use it. President Obama used it. And it's funny that Jay-Z became an award-winning songwriter
Didn't he win an
with
award
that
for that?
as one of his songs when he didn't even write the song. Like the title was that's Brother Marquise's.
That was one
And
of
their brother
Jay, I think
is
that was
riding
one
a
of
bike
Jay-Z.
somewhere in Atlanta with
That,
no
that
money and whatnot.
I was saying that was one of Jay-Z's biggest songs, if I'm not mistaken. That was one
Yeah,
of
well, he
his.
got a songwriting award for that song,
Wow,
99 Problems. And the funny thing is that the whole title of the song is not even written by him. It's Brother Marquise. And meanwhile, Brother Marquise is in Atlanta, barely like sleeping on someone's couch.
man. It's a dirty business, man. That's so
Like, out
sad.
of respect for legends, you would think, hey, let me help you out. You know what I mean? Like,
But that's not Jay-Z's job to be digging, you know, that's not his job.
if
He's
you're making
just,
so much money and you supposedly have respect for the music and where it came from, you would throw him a bone. You would think we're not asking for no bone. We don't need no bone. But
yeah,
what I do want for him is the respect of him having that on his
resume.
rap sheet because that's what he created. And Ice-T even put it like on video, like, hey, Brother Marquise coined it. But he's not
Wow.
even in the copyright authorship. It doesn't even say that. You would have to go and learn history in order to know that.
Wow. Wow. That's
Yeah.
a sad story. This is a sad story.
I know. It's like, okay, I'm not. Yeah.
There was a time where I would, I think, this video isn't for everybody, but I think there's going to be a lot of people that's going to enjoy watching this because there was a time where I was studying publishing and I was learning more about publishing and copyright. And all I was doing was looking for videos where artists and writers were talking about their big publishing paydays. Sir Mix-a-Lot. I think
You
Luke was
smart.
in a couple videos on Vlad TV.
Well, he
He
did good
spoke about publishing.
after he learned his from the situation. He learned from his situation,
Yeah.
and he was able to get other artists. And he came up. He knows how to keep himself relevant. In fact, in my opinion, he did what he did with artists for To Life Proof with football players. His wife was a lawyer, and he ended up getting her to sign him as an agent.
So Luke's wife, he married a lawyer.
He married a lawyer.
That
You
comes
would,
from experience.
so unfortunately they're divorcing now.
Well,
But I was like, you were thinking, like, if he had a lawyer as a wife, why didn't like I was just a friend of Brother Marquise, and I'm like, this ain't right. I'm gonna go get it back. So if you're my man, can you imagine? I'm like, I'm gonna go get this shit back.
well, I mean, there's so many different types of lawyers. So I mean, some people specialize in copyright, some people specialize in
I
medical
didn't specialize in
malpractice.
anything. I specialize in doing what's right, and I'm gonna go get. I'll find out. There's a way. You're we know how we think. We're gonna go figure it out. Like you
Yeah.
can't tell us no. We hear no, and we hear go another way. That's how it's like. No, okay, we'll just go another way because I don't hear no. I just hear you telling me not this way.
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm sure that was a great experience for Luke, and then I remember he did the tag team. Whoop, there it is, and I remember him all in that video. I'm sure that was after the Little
Yeah,
Joe situation.
they all went their separate ways. And what happened was with the other members, Brother Marquise and Chinaman, they went on tour because that's how they had to survive with the money because little Joe would pay them. But he was like not doing them there. I mean, since they didn't know the business, he was taking advantage of them.
Wow.
And then when they tried to go their own way, he sued them.
Wow.
I own that. You can't see that. And finally, Brother Marquise got enough, like said enough, broke the chains and went his own way. And that's just so happened to be the time when I found him.
Mm.
And I'm like, just stay strong. Like, it's gonna be tough for a little while, but we're gonna get your rights back. Like you're gonna have the money that you want and need. So when I got his BMI rights back, that gave him somewhat trust in me that he got more money. So he's like, okay, because he doubted. He was the one like, I don't think it's gonna work, and I don't blame him. But it's hard when you're trying to do something and they're doubting. So to push past that, it's like, okay, let me do it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to talk about my fee or what I deserve when you're doubting me or don't even think it's going to happen. So when I was working, it wasn't like I set up something like, you're going to pay me this and let me do it. It was just like, let's just get it done.
It wouldn't have gotten done if you did that. It would have never gotten done.
Because I was like, I just wanted to get. My focus wasn't on that. Like, I was just thinking, let's just get it done. It's not right.
Let me do what's right. Let me help somebody do what's right. Let me fix a problem for someone's family, for someone's kids, because
that's
it's
their
not
kids'
right.
inheritance. Exactly.
It's not right.
It's not right. That's how it was the whole time. I don't care. Like, it's not right. We're gonna get it back. It's not right.
It isn't about. I don't even care. I mean, deep down inside, you really. The money comes in different ways. So I believe in karma. So I just feel like if I do the right thing and I help people, then good is going to come back to me. But it doesn't always come back when you want it. Sometimes karma
or when you need it.
So
like I was, because I have my condition. I have like the cyst and whatnot, and I get bad headaches, and they have to drain and whatnot. So there are times I was in the hospital, and they don't even know it, and they're like at me, and I didn't tell them anything because I don't need. It's not their problem. But then when things go, like when they come at me sideways, it's like, dude, I was in the hospital almost like, and I'm working for you and had no problem, and then you're gonna come at me sideways right now or doubt me? It's hurtful.
Yeah.
Once again, you gotta realize, like, look, they don't know your whole situation or how your thought processes work. So sometimes you just gotta eat it.
Yeah, it's everyone's thinking about themselves, and it's a problem. It's been a problem for me, just having integrity, because after my lawsuit, I understood publishing more. I was getting publishing checks, and I really understood what publishing meant. But I knew that I wouldn't want to invest it took me 3 years from the time I signed my first artist to the time it took 1.5 years to get him a major
So much.
publishing deal.
It doesn't get dropped on your lap.
What'd you say?
It doesn't drop on your lap. Like deals like that, like getting money.
Yeah, I was able to sign an artist, and within 1.5 years, he had a publishing deal, and then another year
But
later.
okay, how do you get the publishing deal? Let's see. You're leaving out the big part of work that you did.
Well, he got the publishing. Why he got the publishing deal was because I was running a website, and at the time, I had a big website, and I was competing with World Star Hip Hop, because what happened was World Star Hip Hop stole my movie. I made a movie in 2007 called Criminals Gone Wild, and it put me on the news. I was on Bill O'Reilly. It was a trending topic on Google. I think I was maybe in the top 10 or top 20 trends of that year in 2007.
Wow.
If you look
I
on,
want to hear about that.
Yeah. So and this was a project that me and my brother made out of our own pocket. This was something we did, just us. We made a movie, and it made worldwide news. And what happened was, I was trying to sell my DVD, and World Star Hip Hop put it on his site for free. And this was at a time where there wasn't Instagram. Facebook was only for colleges. YouTube wasn't what it is. You definitely couldn't put something like that on YouTube at the time. It was too risque. So the only place that you could see it was this news hip hop website called World Star Hip Hop. So here I am, a 25-year-old filmmaker, finally reaching my dreams. I made a DVD that everybody wants. I'm gonna make at least 100 I'm gonna make some money finally. I made it. And then this little website comes up and bootlegs my movie and takes it and puts it up for free, streams it for free. So I'm losing all type of. I'm literally on Bill O'Reilly trying to get people.
What? Did you get your money? Tell me you got your money.
Finish telling you the story.
Tell me you got. I need to know. Did you get your money? Because we'll go get it. No, just kidding.
No, I didn't get. No, I didn't get my money, and I wanted
What?
to. And for years, I wanted to. I literally wanted to kill the founder of
Oh, I
World
can imagine.
Hip Hop. I wanted to kill him because it was like this was my life's
That's
work.
your baby. That's like someone kidnapping your baby. Like I want to go. I want to go get. That's what it is. Because that's your baby. Like I want. What parent want to go kill for their baby? That's
Yeah,
your
I wanted to kill this guy.
all that. I get it. I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah, and God bless his soul because he passed away a few years ago. But I told myself that if I ever made something good like Criminals Gone Wild again, that I would never get ripped off. So I made a website and I ripped his website off. I found a designer in Brazil. I need a video website like YouTube, but I want it to look exactly like this World Star Hip Hop website. He's like,
Oh, so you got
different.
confused.
He said I could make it look better than this. I said no, I want it to look exactly like his website.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Because I wanted
I know
him
what
to
you're
know.
doing.
I wanted him to know now you got a real competitor. You got it. The person that you're competing with is the person you copy from. So we were
You just put the mirror up to him. You just put the mirror up to his face.
yeah. So I was building up the website and we started to become more popular than him because we were putting more time into finding content and we would.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it was a lot. If he would put 10 videos up, we'd put 25. If he put 25 videos up, we'd put 50 videos.
Oh, you had that killer instinct. You
And
had
we
that
weren't
killer instinct. That's right.
and we weren't taking none of his content. We would find our
On
own
your
content.
own.
And we
And
would
that's another talent in itself to find better good content.
yeah, and we were just letting him know like we're better than you. We make content and we can find better content to you. With this, we're a better site. And I even had it on the title of my website, Better Than World Star Hip Hop.
Oh,
So
shoot. Have you heard that song? Anything you could do, I could do better.
yeah, so when people would search for Criminals Gone Wild, he would come up like watch it for free. So I said, okay, when people search for World Star, then my site is going to come up and it's going to say better than your website. So
that's awesome.
So my site was able to grow organically to the point where we were getting 500,000 to 1 million hits a day, page loads. So now I'm making money off of ads, and I'm noticing that we were finding our own. We weren't trying to promote Rick Ross and the mainstream artists that he had. He had these artists by now.
I know what you're doing. Your integrity. That's integrity.
He had Gucci Man and all these artists. So I said, okay, we're gonna put these artists you don't know about. We're gonna put Little B the bass guy up here. We're gonna put
He'll be better.
Yeah. So now he's battling. So now he's taking my artists that I'm promoting on my website.
Oh,
I don't have none of these artists signed, but I'm just promoting them because I really like their music. I like their style.
Yeah, and you haven't thinking you want to win.
And I'm trying to create a different outlet. I'm trying to create something different so that people will have an alternative. It isn't just, oh, after I leave World Star, there's nothing else for me. I was trying to create another channel. So I started to make a long story short. I mean, we were responsible for breaking Future. A lot of artists that we never, the Migos, a lot of artists I never got credit for.
You still have the site?
What'd you say?
You still have the site going?
No, that is part of the artist who I broke and got this platinum plaque behind me was part of the reason the site got shut down. The site got so popular. To make a long story short, we started breaking artists, and I feel like I was responsible for breaking the Migos. I posted the Migos' first video on my website, and at this time, my website is doing 500,000 hits a day. And World Star would steal a lot of our content. So if we had something good, they would just take it and put it on, and then World Star would get the credit. So we would never get our credit for the artists we were breaking. So that's when I was like, I have to start signing these artists. And the first artist I signed, I took him all the way to the top. I would promote him. I would promote him hard. He would always be at the top of the website, and people were starting to think he owned the website. But they didn't realize I had him signed.
It wasn't his personal website.
So I would fly out to Atlanta with my camera. I always had an expensive camera to tape because I was a filmmaker. And I would tape these music videos for this artist. So one of those music videos was got the producers in Atlanta. My website started to become the thing at the studios. You would go to World Star, then you would go to this other site. And then people would be debating, oh no, this site is better. They have more shit on this website. So so indirectly, it was almost like I was programming
I know what
the
you're
whole
doing.
culture. So whatever was on the site, people started to accept. And even though my artist wasn't that good, and he was crazy and he was wacky, we were promoting it. So after a while, we almost had control of people's minds. Like, oh, if they put it up, it
I was
must be
gonna say,
good.
yeah.
So to make a long story short, one of the videos that I
That's how
shot,
that's how World Star was able to get artists when he brought artists to their site. What he ended up doing was have them sign something, and that signing was partly giving up something of theirs.
giving up some
If
rights.
they wanted to be with the big people, the big stars, they signed it off. When really they
Yeah,
didn't need
so
to. So,
one of the videos I shot for the artist, because the artist he couldn't he was shooting videos, but they weren't, the quality wasn't that good. So I would go out to Atlanta and shoot videos for him. And one of the videos, and I would buy props and, hey, put this on, throw this on. I think this will look cool in a video. So
visionary.
one of the videos, I mean, I would take the clothes off my back and give it to the artist so that he could, have some outfit, because I had
Yeah,
money at
more
the
options.
time. The website was making money, and I was making money off of music because I was doing cover songs and remixes and parodies. And I was, I was doing that already. So I had income. So I was able to put my money into this artist. And one of the videos I shot for him, it got seen by producer Mike Will made it. And to make a long story short, he signed my artist to a publishing deal. And once everyone found out that my artist was signed to Mike Will, everybody wanted to work with him because Mike was starting to work with Miley Cyrus. He already
Oh,
got the approval of Gucci Man, Interscope. With Jimmy Iovine had just signed Mike.
oh
He
wow.
had the best deal out of all the Atlanta producers who were kind of struggling to build a name for themselves. And at the time, Metro Boomin, who later on became the number one producer of the year, I think in like 2017, 2018, he wanted to work with my artist because he was also a fan of the website. Because when World Star was promoting Pharrell and Timbaland, I'm promoting the underdog producers. So I think my website was probably the first website where we actually showcased Metro Boomin. And then he
And he
ended
was
up
a producer or a songwriter.
he's a producer. He's a
Oh wow.
songwriter slash
I mean,
producer.
that's another. A lot of producers don't even know they could get publishing
Yeah,
deals.
yeah. So
That's like that's another thing in itself. That's an accomplishment of yours back then. You know, if you could do that, like for barely right now, artists are realizing that.
yeah, yeah.
It is like,
So yeah, to make a long story short, within 3 years of signing that artist, we dropped about 10 albums. And at the time, I should have had him sign to my record label. And all those albums that we put out independently, they should have been under my label because I was the one funding the whole
what?
project.
Well,
But
I mean, as far as the sound recording, that would have been yours, like the sound recording, the sound
yes,
master.
well, he
But
was
there's so
doing,
many. There's, I mean, honestly, as a manager, and like, this is what I feel what managers should do now is like, we don't have a 401k or retirement plan. And if we're building a song, if we take you on and you have a song and we make it what it is, we should own a percentage of that copyright and publish it.
see, I didn't know about all of this. See, I was just
Yeah,
doing this. This was just things were just
but yeah,
transpiring because of it. Things was just happening. I wasn't thinking about copyright, publishing. I was just doing things as
we
they
were doing the basic, what's like the 10%, the 20%. We're just going by what was. But when you think about it, it's like we set you up to become this, and then we walk away with what we just made during that time when we actually help make it. So we should be able to take part of it. It's like a property. It's our real estate.
yeah, so I just signed and I got some bad advice to just sign him to a management agreement. In my head, I was saying, no, I need to sign this artist to my label. But someone said,
No, yeah, the label.
I got some bad advice from one of my family members, and they told me, "Nah, you're a man." It was almost like they were doubting me, and they were doubting me and kind of talking to me in a condescending way, like, "You not a label. How are you going to facilitate recording, and how are you going to come up with?" Because I mean, I'm talking to people who are actually in the business, my family who've had real.
Yeah, you think, well, then help me, homie. What the
By
fuck?
then, they were defeated. By then, they were in their
Okay,
60s.
that says a lot right there.
So,
It's
so
like you
I
can
took
even do it, so let me do it.
So I took some bad advice from my family member, and
But you trusted them.
I signed my first artist to a management agreement, thinking that, well, if I'm the manager and I'm involved, and we're just gonna build this up as we go. I wasn't thinking about the negative aspects. I was just thinking of, let's just build, put brick by brick, and as things go, we're gonna create it. And the artist took
You
off.
were trusting him to do his own finances and break you off your percentage.
No, no, I was still getting the money, and when we did that publishing deal with Mike Will, um,
Did he
this
give you
was
a front? Did he give you an advance?
we got something like a $50,000 advance from
Okay.
Warren Chappell, and I got my 20% from that. And the publishing check should have never went to the artist. It should have went to my publishing company. And
Uh-huh.
that was a mistake that I made. The publishing company was signing one of my artists, so they were supposed to
It should have
sign.
been co-publishing or
Yes,
sub-publishing.
yes, and at the time I didn't know anything about being a
Mhm.
co-publisher, and I was supposed to be in a deal with
Even
Eardrum,
a sub-publishing is better.
huh?
Sub-publishing, it's
Self-publishing.
meaning like, yeah, it's where you're like the main, like they get a part of it. Like, let's see what you could do with it before you, and whatever. Like, it's a sub-publishing, so it's like they're like subcontracting. Like they're
Yeah.
not even a partner with you. We're contracting out to you. So you
Yeah,
have,
I just knew nothing about this, and I was just kind of going along, doing it as I went along.
yeah,
So
that's how you learn.
and trusting the artist, seeing that the artist, I'm thinking, oh well, you see all the work I'm doing on your
But they
behalf.
don't even know. They
How
don't
could
know
you?
all this is happening, and they don't even know what they're not giving you sometimes.
Why would this person want to rip me off? I'm the person that's been crusading for them since when no one wanted to hear their music, and now people want to hear their music. Why would this person tell? Why would this dog bite me when I feed him every day? When I'm feeding them and giving them a place to live, why would the dog bite me? It was the
Exactly.
craziest thing in the world. Why would the dog bite me?
Giving your shirt off your own back, and he's gonna
Yeah, I
bite
give
you.
this dog the shirt off my own back. So yeah, make a long story short, the publishing deal, we kept making music, we kept doing projects. They tried to stop us from releasing our
Well,
independence.
how long was the publishing deal? How
Publishing
many?
deal was
How,
it was a 5-year deal, but little did I know, these publishing
was he a
deals
work for hire? Was he a work for hire for them?
work for hire. Mm.
Yeah, like meaning if you sign a publishing deal with the publisher, if he's a work for hire, meaning that he becomes the employee. Like, we want to sign you because you're a great songwriter, and we'll give you an advance. And if you don't look at the paperwork, it looks like what they're saying is, yeah, we're signing you under our publishing deal, but you're going to be just a writer under our company. And when you leave, all your music is owned by us.
Yes, well, yeah, that's what they do. They usually you usually sign for the lifetime of the contract, and which is like 75 years. So
You don't have to though.
they, huh?
You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't
That's
have
how they
to.
make that. They make it seem like you have to. You
You don't have to, but
don't want to be a work for hire.
if
Never
you
be a
don't
work for
know
hire.
if you don't know any better, and your lawyer who you trust is
We
not
should teach
telling
you
you,
no better.
well, but then to come to find out that the lawyer is really working for the publisher, because
Oh,
you got to
can't
think,
do that.
if the publishing company says to the lawyer, oh, we'll give you $5,000 for the execution of all this.
Oh yeah.
So the lawyer is just thinking about paying his mortgage for the month, and he knows that, yeah, I work for these artists, but I still have to wait for them to cut me my check.
Exactly. So
Warner's
this,
gonna Warner's gonna cut
okay.
me my check off top if I get these guys to sign this. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
and do
saying?
what he needs.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this 5,000. Forget about. I ain't gonna tell these guys they're gonna own your copyright for
It's like
75
it's
years.
like a taboo. It's like it's an unknown rule. Like, we're not teaching you the business.
Yeah,
It's your,
I'm not gonna tell these guys,
yeah.
because then they might
That's
not
like
want
an
to sign.
unknown.
Because then
And
they
that's like
might
an
not.
unknown rule. Like,
You get
we're
what
not
I'm.
gonna teach you.
But you get what I'm
That's,
saying.
yeah, I know what you're
Then
saying.
they
It's so
might not want to
frustrating.
sign it, and I won't get my 5,000. So I'm gonna
Uh,
just not tell them about. It says it's the lifetime of the contract,
it's
the lifetime
omission.
royalty,
Yeah.
because they're gonna be like, wait a second, they're gonna own our work for 100 years. Fuck that contract. I'll just wait it
Yeah.
out, which we should have did. We should have just waited it out. But he just wanted his 5,000. He just wanted to pay his car note, his mortgage for the month. So they're gonna sell you out to the major label. They're gonna sell you out to the major publishing company every time, from my experience. And this is a lawyer who I trusted, worked with family before. I'm thinking that they're in my best interest, but they're really just in whoever's interest that could pay them the most at the time.
And
So
that brings me back. I'm sorry, but that brings me back to the lawyer I got from my group. Was like, this lawyer has been, I'm the one that reached out to him. I'm the one that, built this relationship where he trusted me, where I was like the buffer, where he didn't have to deal with the drama. And I got things done. Like, you need this, you need that. I'll go get, like, they haven't followed up. Let me go get, I made it happen. Like, I had to push them to even make things happen. I'm like, I'm not trying to push you because I have something to gain here. I told the artist, it's like, this is your future and there's a timeline. I go, it's like me raising my kids and not being able to see them graduate. Like, I'm about to graduate and you don't want me to be invited. I'm going to give it to me. I'm not pushing it for me. I'm pushing it for you. So it's like, I want to see it fulfilled. But the lawyer I got after like creating a relationship and working with him and whatnot, and him finally signing them to their like agreement, I went to him and said, hey, like, I didn't get him put in this deal. Do you have a lawyer that I could go out to? And he goes, well, they're my clients. I can't really assist you.
Wow. Oh, so yeah,
And
you brought him into them. So
and
now
I
they
and
were,
I totally respect it. I go,
wow.
I
Yeah.
did my job right. No, I wasn't mad at it at all. To me, it was like I did my job right. Because if a lawyer could tell me that after that was the lawyer I chose, that means I picked a fucking good lawyer. And I am proud of that. And I'm glad he told me that. Because if he didn't tell me that, I would have been more like, I didn't pick the right lawyer. But the fact that he did tell me that, and it hurt, but
Well,
it was like, I know I did right. I picked a good one.
yeah,
Now I
because
got
he's double dipping, and that could be that's malpractice when you're not supposed to do that.
But he knew all the work I did, and he could have said, "Let me just shoot it to you or leave me." But
well,
since he had the integrity of what's right and what he is to his clients, and once he signed them officially, he couldn't do that for me.
yeah,
And
and
I respect it to the utmost. I still will work with them with another artist another time. That would be my go-to for my artist, that lawyer. But
yeah,
for me, I need my own lawyer now.
it was a mistake on your part. You were probably
Oh
supposed to have,
no, that wasn't a mistake. Actually, like I said, I did my job right.
yeah,
I picked a good one. That's rare. I would have been so upset if I would have picked a one that was shady, and like the fact that he held so much integrity to even tell me no tells me he's a man the perfect to support the artist I want to protect because
yeah.
he's not going to either which way.
It was almost like the proper procedure would have been to kind of have them sign something that binded them to you, and then you go into the lawyer saying, I need you to represent my company and my clients.
Yeah, but but what I was doing was just trying to figure out if I could get it done. So I wasn't even thinking
Yeah,
about the whole,
yeah,
because I wasn't even sure I
yeah.
was going to get it done. But when I saw that he gets 20% of whatever you captures, and then I'm like, well, okay.
Where's
And
my
I
20?
I
Yeah,
got to trust this lawyer, and because like he's worth trusting. Like I had to make like everyone was scared. Like, who's this lawyer? We don't know him. She's bringing him to us, and we've been dealing with only Nicole, and now she's bringing this guy in, and he's supposed to be taking us on, and we don't know nothing about him. And I'm like, this is the guy that has been helping me facilitate. He's the one that I've been going. And they're like, okay, we're trusting you on this. I go, honestly, because he could have asked for 40, considering all the. Like, but I think out of respect for me, and he knew I probably want to get mine later, he
yeah,
probably left out. But he did what he had to do for him and his firm, but he wasn't my lawyer to pencil me in as far as my percentage. I was hoping the group would say, hey, you know what? Let's just give her 1% of my share, 1% of my share. I would have gladly took that.
yeah,
But now that no one even did that much.
yeah. Now it's a whole new negotiation. It
Well, I'm still
becomes,
waiting it out. I'm still waiting it out. Like Brother Marquise, I love Brother Marquise. Like he's like my entitled child. Like he knows he can do it. Like I baby him. Out of all my artists, that's the one I baby. Not because he's the platinum artist. It's just because he needs a baby. Because he's wounded. He's the wounded one. but
yeah,
that, but and I do believe him. Like because like when I got him his BMI royalties back, like I didn't ask him for nothing. His first check, he hit me up and says, "Do you need anything? Are you okay? Because I got my check and I want to make sure you're good."
you know how much it was?
It was a couple. It was like 10,000 around there, and that was his quarterly.
Nice
And
check.
he hadn't gotten a quarterly royalty check from as a performer in years.
Yeah,
So for him to get it, he was like more like, in the fact that he even offered it, I didn't even ask for it. And I
yeah,
told him, so to me, that made me push harder for him.
yeah,
But at the same time, like these members are not talking to each other. So it's not like they can say, hey, let's get together and let's offer to pull this.
yeah. Yeah.
So that I'm taking into issue too, like, so it's like, okay, and I don't want it to come to the point where I have to get a lawyer and then have them pay for my lawyer because I went to court, because I'm not
Yeah.
going to pay.
Because
I
then
don't
it
have to pay for
defeats
a
the
lawyer that I got you a
purpose.
lawyer for free. You're going
It
to be paying for
defeats
my
the
lawyer too,
purpose of the work. Yeah, it defeats the purpose and the work you were trying to do for them. Like I was trying to get y'all money. I wasn't trying to take y'all's money from the
I was
jump.
trying to save you money,
Trying to
lawyers for
save you
free,
money.
and now I got to get a lawyer. Now I got to pay for it. Come on, this is not working out the
It's
way it
it's
should.
just it's pointless. Only people that get
I'm
paid is
still
the
holding
lawyers.
off, and I'm still holding off as far as getting a lawyer and pushing it, because once the lawyer knows, they're going to want, like, I got to find a good one, because otherwise they're going to say money, and
Yeah.
they're going to go after them all I could get for them because they want the percentage from it, and I don't want to take from them. You
Wow.
know, so I'm in a dilemma state right now. But I do want it to get to fulfill what it's supposed to be doing. Right now, we're at once I was able to, I can't do no more because I'm not a lawyer, so I can't take it to the court. So I had to give it. So the lawyer did his part as far as sending out the letter. Now we're waiting for the pushback, which it would be. And what a lot of artists don't know too, when they're at 35 years trying to recapture their rights, they don't realize that when a publisher comes back to you and they want to resign all these old artists, they're not doing you no favors. And a lot of artists think, "Oh, you want to sign me again? Okay." What they're trying to do is
Throw you in debt.
keep your rights.
Throw you back in debt. Yeah.
What they do is renegotiate. It gives you time to renegotiate. If they knew the leverage that they had, so when they approach them like, "Oh, sign with us," they think it's like, "Oh, I get another deal." But really, what they're trying to do is sneak your music away. They don't care what you make from there on out, because they probably know you're not going to make nothing. They just want what they had. And by having you resign to their new contract, it says that they keep the old music. So what the artists needed to realize is, like, if they're coming back at you, there's a reason for it. If they didn't want you for all this time, now they want to sign you. Why?
Yeah.
And now you have a leverage where you can now negotiate a higher payout advance for it.
Yeah. I mean, from my experience, these publishing companies are predatory.
Oh yeah,
They look for the
just like labels. They're the new label. I mean, they're like labels.
they look for the wounded animal. They don't look for the fast one. They look for the wounded one, stand on the side that's limping, and they go
Mm-hmm.
after the one that's limping. You know what I mean? It's very I mean, it's the business. I'm not gonna say it's good or bad. It's the business, and that's why I
And
have a
that's
hard. I really don't, and a part of me, I really don't want to work with artists anymore because
I know what you're saying.
I feel like you're not gonna like me when you find out what I did because I'm trying to protect myself. I'm gonna want 50, if I work with you and I make you a star, I need 50% of everything.
Well, before it was like, I gotta prove myself. I gotta make sure that I'm worthy and I could provide and I could produce. So we're out to prove ourselves. But once we prove ourselves, it's like, okay, now I know I could do it. And once you know you could do it, I think
I can start
I can
demanding.
ask now.
I
Yeah.
can
So now
start
any
demanding
artist,
what I want.
so now artists I work with is like, and the fact that I get to choose, it's great. Like, I'll drop an artist, like, I'll work with you. Like, I worked with this one great artist, songwriter, and she was still under 18, so I was living with the mom too. Great family. But once I got them to the gatekeepers, it kind of like they threw me away because I had no credibility yet, you know?
Yeah,
But I wanted to use her. But little did they know, I had her already in the pocket of one of the top 10 Billboard publishing companies that were waiting for her to get a quality master out. And
mm,
I had it connected to a producer that was willing to do it for free. And I did find a producer that was actually a famous ghostwriter that wrote for every artist in the business. And when she met him, it was like, oh, forget you. But when I saw this producer, the producer was more thinking that he wanted to be bowed down to and to be the gatekeeper for her and was blocking opportunity. Then that's, I was like, okay, you're blocking up. You're just trying to get that power.
yeah,
So when I try to take her away, like, this ain't the guy, they wanted to work with him. I'm like, I'm the one that brought you to him.
yeah. Mm.
I have another producer that you don't even know that could be helping you right now. And it's better than this guy. But okay, you want to go, but I'm walking. And that was like a lot of work I did. And the publishing company asked me, "Hey, what happened to the artist?" And I'd rather it happen to me than bring her to someone that I gained their trust with, and then they fall out with them, because then I brought someone of no integrity.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a sad business. And what I was about to say was a lot of the help that you're trying to give, it would have never happened had you came at them from jump like, well, this is what I want. I need this, this, and that. And you probably would have ended up not going through it, getting the learning experience, getting them their money. If you came to them from the jump with some, give me my money now up front.
And that's what don't get with artists. It's like they come out and they want like to get paid with their music. Like they want gigs to be paid off the bat. I'm like, excuse me, like what have you shown for you some venue to give you money right off the bat just to do a show? Like you just think, can you even prove that you have an audience? But you want to be paid right off the bat. You know, it's like so
now
artists need to do what that's why they need to love what that's why that purpose comes into play. They have to have that drive and reason why they're doing it, and they'll be doing it for free. Because if they're not willing to do it for free, because like either you're going to come at me with being able to finance your career, or you're going to be putting in work with me. Because I could do a lot, but you're going to have to put in work too. So if you don't have the time, the energy, or the resources, a network, because me, I'm a single mom. I'll make things happen out of scraps because I don't have the income to help support you, but I will find the resources. So I'll go to a conference, like a music conference, and sit front row to the next music supervisor that I want and ask questions, and then come and approach them and ask an intern for you. Can I intern for you? Just so my artists could get to them. So once I've done this. I've gone to a music conference, got the music supervisor I wanted, talked to her, and then hit her up after the conference, became her intern, and then walked my artist right into her living room, and then got her with her. So those are steps I'll do for my art. I'll knock on doors, you know, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
They say it's management is a thankless job, you know, and if things go right.
So much fun. It's so much. Tell me it's not fun. It's a lot of fun. We got to think out of the box. Like it's a lot of fun. Strategically.
Yeah, it's fun, but what I was saying is it's thankless. If things go right, you don't get credit, but if they go wrong, then you get all the blame. You know, it's like it's just a thankless job, and I don't know. I've been more on the publishing side of it, but see now that I know about publishing, I don't have any artists that's generating any publishing. You know, but the new artists that I'm so business savvy, now I don't have an artist that's generating any publishing. You know what I mean?
Are you looking for producers? Or are you looking for songwriters?
I'm not looking for anything right now.
Oh yeah. And I know what it's funny when people want me to listen. I get it. When people want me to listen to it, I'm like, if I don't approach you, I don't want you.
Yeah, I'm not looking for any artists right now, to tell you the truth, because
but tell me if you didn't hear something, you're gonna be like, okay, that's just an instinct. Like if I hear something and I could get behind it, I gotta go ask, like, hey, what are you doing?
It has to be really great. It has to be really great.
Oh yeah.
And when I heard the music where I have this platinum plaque behind me, I knew it was gonna go. I knew it was gonna go. You want
to know something funny? Because you grew up in the music, right? I did sports. I've done sport. Like I wrote for Yahoo Sports Radio, SB Nation, and I did that by recycling cans, buying a laptop, and going to my closet and getting the Wi-Fi from my neighbor, and then doing bulletins on MySpace and being found that way through an NFL beat writer. So when you're doing something you love, people find you. You know.
Yeah.
And artists that are doing something they love, it's like seeing someone push a car and you want to get out and help them, right?
Yeah.
But if you see someone in the car and they're on the phone waiting for a AAA, or you're like, they have someone coming.
They're good. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. But when I see an artist out there pushing, I want to get behind you and help you push. Yeah. But I gotta see the work that you've done before I get behind it. You know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. You know, right now, it seems like it just seems I don't know, from my experiences, it's just the time, the heartache, the effort, the anxiety, the lawsuit that I had to go through for a year before I only got $100,000 when I was getting tens of millions of dollars. I mean, the work I did was easily 10, 20, $30 million artists. I mean, I got an artist signed to the #1 artist in the world, hands down. My artist was signed to the #1 artist, and we got a #1 song, and everybody wanted my artist. And
everyone's winning but you.
Well, no, I was winning. At one point, I considered myself the #1 artist manager in the game, because I mean, I took a artist that no one knew about. I didn't have I had nothing major behind me. Yeah. I did this all off of a website that I started with my own money. I built it up from scratch. I mean, what I did for this kid, no one in history probably has ever, like, a
But
real
notice when you
grass.
start, right when you told me about like how you got a publishing deal, I go, but how did he get it? You
Yeah,
weren't going to tell me. You weren't going to tell me how you got it.
it was from
Because
music videos that I shot
I
for them.
know, but that's what came to the site. But see, when you told me, but I was like, you act like you got a publishing deal, you negotiated. I'm like, I know you did more because
Oh
I did
yeah,
just.
oh
But
yeah,
see, the way we deliver it is like, oh yeah, but there's so much that they don't know that goes into the what we did. So
yeah,
that's why I had to ask you, how did
yeah.
he get it?
So many
Because yeah,
moving
I got it,
pieces.
but how? And that was you.
I could be explaining the story for hours, and I didn't want to be too long-winded because there was a lot of moving parts.
Us
I
managers,
had
our
to,
stories are always long.
I mean, I had to borrow money. I had to get investors. The owner of K Jewelers,
Oh
the
wow.
diamond store, was one of my investors. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
yeah. I mean, I'm not even going to go into the whole story of how I was able to get next to K
But we
Jewelers.
have to sell our artists. And it's funny because I had someone tell me before, like the way you're talking about this artist, I haven't even heard him. But I think he's
Oh,
great.
oh no, you heard him. I know you heard my
No, no,
song.
no, no. No, but like, I have people tell me the way managers talk about, like if we talk about someone, when I talk about someone I like, people automatically think that he's the shit. They don't even need to listen to, like we want to hear it. Because that's how passionate I am. But it's like managers represent the artist when the artist is not there. So it's
Yeah,
like we hold that integrity for them, and that's why it's hard when the artist comes into the business still and they don't have the same professionalism or represent you as well as you represent them, or they say something that out of pocket where it's like you shouldn't have said that. Like, let me talk.
it's very disheartening to ride for somebody and they don't ride for you the same way. It's very disheartening, and it makes you question everybody in life, and it builds you build these trust issues with people because I'm the type of person like I said, I'll give the clothes off my back for you if I believe in you. You
Well,
know,
can I ask you a question? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you're a believer or not, but do you believe in Christ?
do I believe in the higher power and I believe in God and there's a
What
bigger
gets me through
purpose.
those times, what gets me through the times that you're talking about is I think God came and did, Christ did what he did for us on the cross, and he got spitted on and turned on.
Mm,
So that gets me to the point. It's like if it happened to him and he still loves us as much as he loves us, I think, okay, then I could keep pushing forward because he suffered more.
mm,
So I, like they say you can't get more than what your master got.
yeah,
And got that, I have to say, okay, but God, you got me on this end. And he has, like, I have not gone hungry. And I don't have, I live off of Social Security and pushing my music or getting every little gig I can get with my artists and whatnot. And I have, like, last 4 years has been just pushing getting this case going, as well as, like, working with other artists, not making money from them.
yeah, yeah.
So, but what it is like when you do find, like, you do find these good people. Don't get disheartened, babe. You do find these good. Maybe that's why we met, because you do find these one rare gems that are worth more than what you lost. And like, since we think the same, there, like, I already know of collaborations that I could offer to you, or people that that could create what you want to get created. Like, I have a film composer that worked on Jane Got a Gun, Avengers. What's his name? Zimmerman, one of the biggest film
Hans
composers in.
Zimmerman.
Yeah. My composer works with him. So now he's actually my client, and he's one of the clients that gave me faith because I got him a director to work with him. He called me up asking me for my PayPal to pay me. And I was like, why? He's like, oh, that connection you made, and da 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 da, and oh, it's worked out, and I'm going to pay. Like, it actually, people are actually man of the word. And it's like, wow. So that kept me pushing. Even though I was getting this from True Life Crew, that composer came by and did that for me. So it's like, okay, that might have hurt, but I gotta keep faith in this.
Yeah, I mean, I still have faith in the business. It's just about investment. Like it's just about as I get
Smart.
older, I have to make better investments with my
Use your
time.
resources. Use your
Yes,
resources, baby.
yes,
Not your
I have to.
not your money, your resources. Because
Well,
you have
with not just my money. I no, well, I spent a lot of money on.
don't use your money no more. Use your resources because you have a lot.
Well, I really I have resources, but I really it was really I really didn't breaking when I broke this artist and got the #1 song. It was really off the strength of what me, my brother did, and my investors did.
But
And
do you have connections with that publisher still? Right? You still have that relationship with the publisher, right?
I want to kill them too, to tell you the truth. As a lot of people, like I will never. I'm
Well,
not
you
gonna.
said that.
No, seriously, I like fuck Warner Chapel. If you like, I'll say that on my channel. Like fuck them. Like
Oh,
they did me dirty. They did me so dirty that
but it's not their job to look out for you. Like that lawyer, it wasn't his job to look out for me.
it
You know what I mean?
wasn't the it. What they did.
Like
What
keeping
they
that relationship.
let me tell you what they did. And they conspired with my artist to cut me out of a publishing deal that I signed with them.
Mm,
I did a co-publishing deal with Air Drummers, which is Mike Will made its company, and Warner Chappell,
mm,
and with my artists. We were 50-50 partners on that business. It was really my business, but I put him on as a 50-50 partner.
mm.
If you look at the records, I created that business that we did a major publishing deal with Warner Chappell. Warner Chappell generated millions from that publishing deal. But once the artist got a little bit of money, he started conspiring with the lawyer that I introduced him to, and they made an amendment on a major publishing deal without my approval. So they X my company out, and they put the artist made a publishing company, and they amended the publishing deal so that I wouldn't get money off of all of the artist's work. But Mike Will still gets money. Warner Chappell still gets money. The
When
artists
did
who I
this
broke.
happen?
When did this happen? This happened in 2012, 2013.
But if you
So
have a contract and they wrote a contract, another contract, how doesn't one cross each other out?
yo, let me tell you, it was the same contract. They amended my contract. They
But did
amended
you
my
sign it?
contract without my approval.
But did you? So you didn't sign that contract. So how could it be legal?
That's what I'm saying. So I send a letter to Warren Chappell. I say, hey, y'all got to make this right. I'm the one who brought this artist in. Now y'all are making millions of dollars off of a deal that my company was legally on. So I spoke to some lawyers, but I'd be spending. The lawyer just wanted 10,000 just to entertain the case, and then I may lose this case. So now I'm spending 10, 20, $30,000 just we're on a
How
case I
long ago?
may
I'm
lose.
sorry. How long ago was this? 3 years, you said?
The deal was signed in 2012. Yeah.
Oh shoot.
And after
The
5 or 6 years,
limit of yeah,
they try to
limit of
say, oh, we're not
statute
responsible.
of limitation. Statute of limitation.
I don't even want to go
Damn
into
it.
I don't even
Damn
want to
it.
go into it any much. And I recently did another publishing deal with a publishing company who come to find out they were thieves also. And I took an advance from them, and they told me, oh, all I had to pay them back was the advance that they gave me plus a closing fee. And
Clothing fees.
I don't really want to go into it too much, but I just think it's a very shady business, and I have no passion, or I have no plans to work with any artists or producers. I just
Have
don't
you
like.
have you thought about music placement licensing?
I just don't care about it anymore. Like
So what do you
I've
want to
reached.
do?
I
You
mean,
want to do
I sell houses. I'm an
that's
inventor.
good.
I got an invention
That's good.
coming out. I'm literally looking at my invention right now. I mean, I'm working on prototypes. I just sold a house on Friday. You know,
I love that. I like flipping stuff. I because
yeah. I mean,
when I was like when I first got stabbed and left on the street, I had to figure out how to bring money for my kids. So I became a dealer. So I got addicted to flipping it. If I put $100 in, I had to get $300 out. And
yeah.
I got to where I was paying my connects like house, mortgage, 2 cars. I got addicted to that flip. Once I get my Social Security, I gotta get out of this neighborhood because I was just too addicted to the money.
Yeah, and I've always been a hustler, and I always was able to make money. So I never had a problem making money. Anything that I took my time and spent my time doing, it became a success. When I got into the movie business,
I was
it
gonna say, what
became,
about films? You don't
huh?
want to do film? You don't want to do a film?
I mean, I've done it. I'm working on my next film right now. I mean, I made
Would you
three
be interested in a biopic?
on who?
That crew.
Two Live Crew. The thing about it is right now, anything I do is going to take a financial investment. To do it how I want to do it, I don't want to be in a position where I have to borrow any money from anyone to make a project happen, because it just restricts my creativity if I have to be thinking about where am I going to get the money. So if I make another movie, I want to self-fund it. If I do another artist, I want to self-fund it. I don't want to have to borrow any money. I don't want to have to take any advances. I don't want to have to
So if
sign
I,
any
because
deals.
I mean, a lot of big promotion production companies want the biopic of Two Crew. But would you be interested in directing it, or like,
I mean, I could make a film.
if I get the production company to finance it?
I could make a. I'm down with doing films. I mean, I love. That's really was my first passion. The
I
reason
know it
why,
was. That's why I want to make sure if you continue it.
yeah,
Like if I
well, the
can get the
reason
financing for it,
I got
like for
into
you to
music.
discuss it.
Yeah, I
You know
mean,
what I
I
mean?
got into the music business through being a filmmaker. You know, through shooting videos and working with artists. Artists needed videos shot, and I had the best camera in the neighborhood, so they wanted to, you know, and I knew how to edit at a time where no one else had editing software. So I mean, I
I know.
got into the music business off of my filmmaking career, and
Because I saw your face light up when you talked about your film. The way you talked about your film, I have not seen you, the way the which your face showed so much passion when you were talking about it. So I was thinking, if I once this biopic gets settled, would you consider working on the film with us? So I would love
well,
to bring you.
that sounds great. I mean, I'm always open to film, and I'm always open to any type of production. I mean, when it comes to music, any type of production, I'm always down with. But as far as me working with people, um, I needed to be on my terms, because if not, it's not worthwhile for me in the long run, because I know what happens when things aren't on my terms and I don't have my terms correctly, when I don't have the finances that I want. You know, you have to
So
put a.
did you write? Did you write the film too? Were you the writer of the film, or were you the director, the producer? Like how that film that got taken from you? What was like? Did you do the whole like film production,
Yo,
everything?
everything I've done, it was me, and it was
So you did
me,
the
my
screenwriting.
brother. It was me, my brother, and the guys in the movie. There was no 100 man. Like when you see a film, you see all those credits. No, it's me, my brother, and these guys in
Yeah,
the
because
movie.
they have the director that's doing all the visual part of it,
Yeah,
and
but
then
I
the
mean,
producer
I
doing the
did that.
investment, and
I'm
then you have the
whole.
screenwriter that's writing in it, and then you have the writer whose idea was it. There's like
No,
all those.
no. See, my work, my film work is always improv. We don't, we have the idea in our head, and then I direct it, and I tell the actors, this is what I need you to say. And it was never scripted. It was the vision. And I told them, listen, I need you to say it like this. I need you to do it
That's a
like this.
different way of doing it.
Yeah, I
Right?
never, it's almost like how they say Little Wayne doesn't write. He just goes in the
Because
studio and does it. All of my films have always been
wow,
improv. So
that's
that's
an
just how I
awesome way
work.
of doing it because it comes out more naturally if they're just
Yeah.
flowing with it rather than like, sticking to the. If you tell them this is how I wanted to play out, now figure it out, improv it. That comes more natural for
Well,
our
my film was
actors.
a doc. It wasn't a movie. It was a documentary. So it was. I'm asking people questions, and then I get their responses, and then we may do scenes. But I was never written out in a script format to where I say, "Here, read this. You have to say
Well,
these words."
documentaries are hard too because getting like artists I work with, some of them are not great interviewers. You got to pull the information out to get that good
Yeah,
information.
yeah. So I mean, I'm open to the entertainment business, but I know I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it from all sides. I've just seen it, and I know um, there's a lot more losers than winners in this business, and that's a
Mhm.
fact. That's just a fact. And I won in this business. I won, and I'm able to accept that win. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to win again. It's almost like
By what you learned in that book.
I already got my championship rings. They're back there, and I get my income from it.
Everything.
It's like
Like I don't need no more. I'm good. Yeah.
I've reached number one already. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So now I'm trying to reach I've already reached number one. So it's almost like I'm trying to reach number one in different things now.
And
Like,
what you want to do and make your
yeah, I
dreams
want
come
my
true.
invention to become number one. I want to sell more houses. I want to say, oh, I'm the number one real estate investor in this. You know what I mean? Like I've reached that goal already. So the
Mhm.
passion isn't there as much anymore. And
Mhm.
the deals that I'm going to give an artist, they're going to be totally in my favor. And not to sound self-centered, but I
So
need it
you
to
just
be
sound
like
you
that.
sound like you got like broken. I know what you're saying. You
Well,
got like I got.
it's it well,
You know that
it's
people fool me once, not fool me twice. I get it.
yeah, it's just I just can't do it again like that. I can't because it's too much risk. The risk versus reward just isn't there. I need to be. I know. right now at the age I'm at, I'm almost 40. I have to think about my family. I can't take as much risk as I used
Mhm.
to. I have to do things that are, the risk is low, the reward is high. With the music and
Exactly.
entertainment business, the risk is very high and the reward is very low. You may not even get a reward, but you're
Mhm.
taking all the risk. And as me as the investor, I'm taking all the risks. Artists, artists just sit back and ride in my BMW. I'm the one paying for the gas. I'm the one paying for the car. I'm the one
Now,
paying for the insurance.
I don't know.
If
I don't have the money nor the like. All I have from artists is the time and resources. Like I'll push, you know what I mean?
I don't
But
even
it's like
have the time for an artist anymore. Like when I got a 4-year-old son, I
you got
got
your own dreams to live now. Live
yeah,
your
I
dreams.
got kids who are now adults who haven't seen who haven't I haven't been there their whole childhood because I'm over here trying to break an artist. I'm over here trying to
Yeah,
build a website to
that's
break an artist,
exciting.
thinking the artist is going to do the right thing. So, oh, all this time that I missed my daughter in high school, it's going to be worth it because now I'm a millionaire.
You
Now I can
think,
give
yeah,
her everything. But then when that doesn't happen, you start seeing the reality like, wow, I can't be investing in people that I really don't know. Who is this guy I signed? I signed this guy just because I liked a couple of his songs, but who is this person?
exactly. Oh, I yeah,
Where does this person come from? Like, who the fuck is this person? For
yeah,
me to be putting up money, putting up years of my life just so you could scratch my name off a piece of paper when I'm not
yeah,
around.
yeah. I can't.
Like
Yeah, I got another person. Yeah.
it's like it's like disgusting. It's like repulsive. Like it makes me sick.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand. Get you bad taste. I get it.
yeah, like I don't want to be in this business. Like I did it. I did it. I seen the
Yeah.
best. I seen the worst. I sat in the same. I sat with Beyonce. I sat with Jay-Z. I literally I stood next to Jimmy Iovine. I've been to the best parties where Rihanna was giving me the look. You know, like I did it. I did it already.
Uh,
You know what I mean? I wish it went better. I wish we could have total control of our life and the way the world, but we don't. So
See, I
it's
want the artist. I want the artist that doesn't want to rub elbows with those stars, because that scares me. When artists are goals to be out there like that's like I don't like that's scary. Like to me, it's like I don't want. I don't go to the big parties. It's like because they're all like it's all corrupt in there.
well, I mean, sometimes you gotta go. You gotta
Oh, and
go.
for networking,
Yeah.
but there's some like, there's after parties that you don't need to be attending, and that could get you or your artist caught up. You know, it's like it could give a bad impression of your brand or image.
Yeah. I mean, people won't, I mean, I have to tell my stories because like people, I had to tell my story because no one else, like, I got some crazy stories. Like I was about to put a story about how when Jay-Z didn't want me to take a picture with me. You know, and I was used to be one of the biggest Jay-Z fans, but I didn't put that video
Oh, sad.
together because I didn't want because so many people like Jay-Z. And if I say anything bad about him, they're gonna say, oh, fuck you, you know, but I got stories
It's
for
the
days,
truth. It's the
huh?
truth.
I got
Truth.
stories for
You say
days.
it.
Like
If it's
I
your
walk,
truth, say it.
I got stories for days that I don't
Well, that's
share.
why when your video came up yesterday, it's like I could vent with someone. Look how long we've been talking. It's like
Yeah.
I finally could someone could relate. I was like, oh, I could vent. Someone that gets what I like what I feel. That's why I was venting, kind of ranting last night. Like he gets it.
Yeah, and that's what I do it for. I'm
Yeah, you
happy.
helped me. You don't understand the therapy. I could have paid thousands in right now.
Well, hey, the Cash App is you know, I'll just pay. I'm not like I honestly been blessed, and like I said, I lived all of my dreams. I've reached my goals, and I realized I'm at the point where I realized my goals weren't big enough. And that's my
Oh,
fault. I can't blame the artist. I can't blame Warner Chappell. I can't blame the publishing company that I did a bad deal. I can't blame it. My problem was my goal. I reached my ceiling. And when it was just like I didn't plan past where I reached. You know,
yeah.
you
But now
get
you
there.
can. But now you are.
I got there faster than I even expected. And I didn't even expect to reach my ceiling. And I got there and then it was just like, damn, what do I do
Now
next?
what? Yeah.
Yeah. So this I don't have a sad story. Like I made it in the music business. Like who could you call right now that says they had a #1 hit song, who wrote a
Right.
song with Drake, whose artist got signed to the #1 artist in the world right now is Drake. He's the #1 artist in the world.
And it's funny though, because most people that reach what you reached use that and start try and get people by what they've done. You're like, I'm good.
Yeah, I did it. It was cool. It was cool. I'm not going to run that because I don't want to be one of those guys who's just living off his past. And I'm trying to constantly reinvent myself and create new things and give something to the world. I'm not sitting here trying to live off of what I've done in the past. I mean, although that's really the goal, that's the American dream, is to get paid
Yeah.
off of something that you've done in the past to where you don't have to work anymore. But um, it's just not enough for me. That was cool. And I can always get back in the music business because I know how to break an artist.
Yeah.
I know what it takes to make an artist succeed. I know the
Oh,
work that it's going to take. I'm just not
oh,
willing to do it right now at this age and where I'm at right now. It's just I have some other goals that I'm trying to reach. My goals now are more financial. Before they were just like,
security.
yeah, I'm all of my goals are financial goals right now. They're like they're kind of it's personal goals kind of, but it's more of a financial motive now.
You're thinking about your kids now.
Yeah, before it was just like I was just trying to reach my personal goals in life, and
Yeah.
no one could get in the way. Even my kids, I wasn't gonna let my kids get in the
Yeah.
way with me reaching my goals. Now I reach my goals, and now I'm like, damn, my goals now are to be there for my kids more because
Exactly.
I see how fast they can grow up while I'm chasing my goals. And if I
Right.
do, and if I, some people are always caught chasing some dream of, I don't know, I don't know. I chased my dreams. I succeeded. My goals just weren't big enough. And some people get lucky where their their um their goals, they reach their goals, and then it comes the financial, they reach these financial goals that they just didn't weren't anticipating.
Yeah.
But I
That's
think,
what when I got with Two Life Crew, I wasn't planning on working with these platinum like hip hop legends, like
yeah,
Godfather, Southern hip hop rap. Like I was a mother at home, like sing, like just nursing my own wounds, and now I'm here working with these legends and hip hop artists, and it's like my brother Marquise told me, hey, once it hits that we get our rights back, people are gonna know you did it. I'm scared of that. I'm scared of getting that attention where artists gonna know, like people are gonna, and then they're gonna be hitting me up. I like to pick my people. I
yeah.
don't want people coming to me. Let me pick you.
Well, that's why I made that video
I'm really
yesterday.
anxiety about it. Like I don't want, like I'm really, that's why I haven't done press releases about it. I just like, but I know I need to because
It's
I need to get out. But
the
I'm
concept, the concept of people reaching out to you, wanting you to assist them and help them and manage them. It kind of, at first it was kind of, I figured it was a good way to find new artists, but I found out that it was just attracting a bunch of people. And um I I,
want
I,
from
I
you.
I
Having
don't
people
know.
that want from you, not what they want to give you.
Yeah,
What they want.
it's like I just don't have any passion to build someone up. I've done it so many times, like, and every time it happened, it backfired on me. Even in my movie, Criminals Gone Wild, like I've been responsible for making people famous, like to this day. Like people, I get the respect I get from some of the people I helped is priceless. Like they call
Exactly.
me and they speak to me like, I mean,
Those are
I've been
resources.
I've been in my neighborhood. I went back to Brooklyn one time, and I was at the corner store from where I grew up. Where I used to stand on the corner and do all type of stuff. And I was at the corner store, and some guy walked up to me, and I didn't know this guy, and I didn't know who he was, but he knew who I was, and he said, "Yo, man, you're a legend out here." And I
Oh,
looked at him like, "Really?" I said, "Really?"
oh.
And I don't know. I'm just really, I'm happy.
You
I'm
see that they
happy.
can't, no one could take that from you. They could take your money, but they can't take what you did. Like, and
Yeah,
that's why it's for Brother Marquise to get that song on his rap sheet, because they could take the money, but he needs that. Like he should be in the songwriting Hall of Fame for Hood Rat Hurt Your Mommy, Me So
yeah,
Horny, Pounds of Bitch Ain't One. He deserves that acknowledgement. So like but no one could take your accomplishments. They could take your money, but when your legacy, it can't be taken. And that's what you
yeah,
want.
yeah. I'm about the legacy. I just I did what I felt was right at the time, and whatever happened happened.
We're
If
all learning and evolving. So it's a learning thing.
Yeah, I mean, I believe my karma is great right now. Like I
Well, I
haven't.
think you did something right because you're talking to me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
Just,
I honestly
I know I'm good people, and I think you are. So obviously we're doing something right.
I can wake up and look myself in the mirror and know that I did right by everybody that I've come
Exactly.
across.
That's what matters right there.
And nobody could come. You can't. I can make a YouTube channel and put myself out there because I know no one's gonna come and say, "Oh, this guy's a fraud," or "He ripped me off," or "He was unscrupulous and he made me do something I didn't want." Nah, I don't have that on my record.
I
So
could
I'm
tell
I'm
that. Yeah.
comfortable in my skin, and I'm comfortable talking about. I can even go on and talk shit about people because you
You're
can't
the first
say
person.
nothing about me.
You're the first person I even talked about this situation with Two Live Crew. You're the first one I ever talked to about this situation.
Can't relate with most people about these kind of subjects because a lot of people just they haven't been in they
Or I
haven't
don't,
been there.
or they wanted to couch chase, or like once they know you're working with someone, they want to like get in. Like, so you're the first person I felt comfortable where I knew it was like a different level, like a different integrity level, respect level, and business level, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's it's I'm just happy that I can do this now. I know I slowed down making the music business videos because it's a small market. There's not that many people. I mean, there's a lot of people that love music and they love entertainment, but there's a real small percentage of people that are actually in the business trying to make it with what they have, limited resources. And I've even met people that had millions of dollars, and this one lady, she wanted me to work with her son, and she was a millionaire. She just had she won this settlement against her husband, who I'm not going to even go into who
Yeah.
he is and what, but I was trying to work with her son, and we had, she was, unlimited. The money wasn't a problem, but he just wasn't a star. So,
Oh,
and that's when I realized, nah, it ain't
yeah,
money. It's the
yeah.
talent. It's the talent. It's not money that's going to make in the entertainment of the
Oh,
music.
yeah,
Money
yeah.
is not the issue. It's really building a team, it's timing, and it's karma. It's just
Right.
it's a lot that go. Money isn't gonna solve the problem, isn't
Exactly.
gonna
No,
make
no.
someone to start. I mean, it can help. Don't get me wrong, it can help. And
It
now,
won't. It won't be. It won't be substantial. It won't keep it.
yeah, and
It
nowadays they have a lot of ways where you could pay and just advertise, but that shit will just keep sucking
oh,
up your
pay.
money. If
What the
people don't like the
pay to
artists,
pay to play? That pay to play where you pay? I don't believe in that. I don't like those things.
yeah, if people don't like the artist and they really don't have no charisma, it's not gonna happen. So I don't
Well,
care
there's
how
so
much
much an
money you
artist has to
have.
do.
People
Branding, touring, like so much.
people
It's a
see
lot.
right through it.
Yeah, they do. This
Yeah.
the talking.
Huh?
You know how long we've been talking?
It's got to be like 2 hours, man. I'm hoping people even make it through this whole video, but
I know you have to edit it and do part one, part two.
nah, but yeah, that might be a good idea. But the thing is, with YouTube, it's best to put up long videos because it's about bounce time. It's about how long can you have somebody watching a video. So
Yeah,
if people only watch 15 minutes of this video is a hit.
well, I want to see your analytics on this video once they come out.
Oh,
Once,
this video is going to be a hit, and I'm about to just upload the whole thing. And I may piece it up. I may piece up parts of it, but I'm still going to upload the whole thing because the best thing you can do for YouTube is put up long form content. And if even one person can make it through the whole, then that's two
oh
hours worth
really?
of watch time. So yeah, I'm trying to put up long podcasts. This is like a podcast. So I mean, people that are really interested in and that are in the business, they're gonna love this video. I'm not trying to make
Yeah,
I'm not trying to make little
yeah. I,
little
I know
5 second TikToks. Like that's not what I'm trying to do. Like I'm trying to make long. My son
this
is
video. This video is like being a fly on the wall, listening to us.
yeah. I'm not really
You know?
this isn't for everybody. I don't expect everybody, but I think the people who are looking for this information and who want to relate and they'll find this video. So I'm not concerned about views. I'm just really just looking to build a catalog on YouTube of information, and
Good
over
content.
time, the catalog it
Oh yeah, it's like seeds. You're just throwing out seeds. Let
yeah
them flourish.
yeah
Exactly. It's good. So your YouTube is monetized then, right?
Yeah, I've had to battle with that too for years. They weren't letting me
Really?
monetize, but I finally got my channel monetized, I think this year or last year. So trying to keep it clean, trying to put up valuable content that's um worthwhile to that advertisers want to, put their ads on,
Mhm.
and that can eventually make me some good
Oh
revenue.
yeah,
But I mean it's
that's the new royalty right there, especially with the
yeah,
podcast and Spotify and stuff, the streaming, the sound exchange. Yeah, that's money.
yeah, I
So
mean
much.
it's a slow process, but I mean, you just gotta
It's
plant those
work.
seeds every
People have to
day.
put in the work, and
Yeah,
obviously you have, because I found you and I related.
yeah.
So yeah, my phone is at 13%.
We did it.
Oh,
We
yikes.
did it.
I love this phone because it takes forever to like die on me. And actually, it was at 50 when I got on, and now it's 13. I was like, the video is taken. I go, wow, it was worthwhile to me that we actually talked so much, and I really valued this conversation a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I did too. And I was able to get some off my chest. And like I said, if I could, just if I could help somebody else, but if they could hear something that sparks a light bulb in their head, that's what it's all about. I don't expect everyone to watch this. I don't expect everyone to listen to the whole 2 hours, but this is that one person where they did watch the whole thing and it meant something. And that's what I did it for.
And to be honest, I didn't know you were going to record this. I thought we were just going to talk and get to know each other. But I was like, okay, record.
Oh, you got to record because it's just good. Sometimes I watched that video I put out yesterday probably 20 times already. And sometimes I'll say stuff. I'll be like, damn, where did all this come from? And I'll hear myself. I enjoy hearing myself talk. So, I don't know.
Usually, when you have to edit it and do it, it takes away from the quality of the
Yeah, I don't even
authenticity.
like editing no more. And that was something I was testing yesterday when I put that video. I said, I'm gonna make this video in my car. My hair doesn't look all
Everyone loves
made
that.
up.
That's
Like,
vulnerability. You're not trying to impress no one.
yeah,
That's
usually
that's
I try to
that,
get
that right there.
let
That's
me
a
get a
win.
haircut and make every time I make a video. And I'm not that insecure. Like
Mhm.
I'm trust me. Like I'm not trying to impress nobody.
Exactly.
Like
That's a vulnerability, and genuine authenticity is the greatest thing you can offer anyone.
yeah, and I noticed that. I said, let me put this video up. I'm not gonna make no fancy thumbnail. It's gonna be me in my car. And I noticed like those are the videos that I usually watch, the ones where someone's in their car and they're just talking from the heart.
Honest.
Those are the videos that I like. And I said, why am I trying to make this YouTube production? Let me just talk.
You're
And
overthinking it when you do it that way.
yeah, and that video, as far as all the videos that I put up this week, is already it passed all the other videos I put up this week. And
Oh wow.
YouTube is weird right nowadays. It used to be different when you put a video out and you got 30,000 subscribers. They'd make sure those 30,000 subscribers know that you put a video up. Now it's almost like, what's the point of having subscribers? Because YouTube, they got this algorithm where they
They
tell you what you
decided,
want to see.
right?
They don't even try to,
You
they,
just lost your monetization right now with that little statement.
well, it is what it is. Well,
They just
I
decided, forget him.
well, I understand why they did it because it
Are you
with
backpedaling? No, just kidding.
no. It what happened was people were starting to spam, so they had to kind
uh,
of create a system that kept people on their site longer.
uh,
Because people just would make spam content,
oh
and
yeah,
I
then get it
understand why
back.
they did what they did, and I understand. I get it. I get what they're doing, but what was I saying about YouTube? Yeah, I
You like
understand.
it? They're the best.
I understand the evolution. I understand the evolution. I understand the algorithm,
You
and
understand the business part of it. You get the point.
yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's about business. It's about making a dollar. It's about how do you get the highest value for your advertising. How I get it. It's a corporation. Um,
Yeah.
I wish I could. That was the thing. I wish I was able to have all these seed investors in my company to where I could run a company for 10 years without actually making a profit. See, with me, I got to be making a profit the first month I start a business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
Or
can't, I don't have the luxury to have, oh, we got $10 million. We're just going to, we're 20 million in debt, but we're going to just keep doing this until we get bought for $1 billion. That's
yeah, it's
such a
not.
luxury, but I understand, you know.
That's the waste. Like if I can't, if I have to keep, I try not to put money in it. I try not to put money. If I have to put max 100 into something, I will, just like, because of the registration fees and whatnot. But I really try not to put money in it, because if I can't make it from just like the push, I can't, there's no, I'm not gonna put money in it. Cause especially if it's not mine, like it's not my music. If they can't put their money into it and they need me to push it. So either they're gonna give me the money and I could do it for them that way, or we're both gonna push it. We're both
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Okay, I better go because it's like getting cold out here and I'm outside.
You said, what we do, a 2 hour?
It's almost 2.5.
Hey, that was good stuff. Thanks a lot. I'm ready to just put this up on
You.
the channel uncensored.
I'll be in contact with other stuff too. Definitely.
You don't have no problem with me uploading this video?
No, no. Like you, it's our truth and it happened. It is what it is. We're right.
Okay,
No big,
great. Well,
no
I
big
want to
deal.
make more. I want to make more videos like this. So I'm glad you helped ignite me to get back into content making. So
I see that passion. I see it in your eyes.
I
I
I thank
saw
you.
it.
I thank you for your time. And like I said, if anything, any questions, and you need to reach out. Excuse me, I've been got a little cold. I'm getting over.
You okay?
I hope it ain't COVID. I
Right
went and took my test
there.
yesterday. I don't think I don't think it is because I got an appetite. I'm ready to eat. People say I'm gonna lose my sense of taste, but I think I just got a little
I know.
cold.
I just came back from Puerto Vallarta, so I'm quarantined. I'm locked down in my house for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm not even going to Thanksgiving tomorrow to my families. I'm just gonna stay home. I don't even want to risk like
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
smart.
I'm just gonna chill out. But yeah, I got a little cough, but I'm all right. I feel all right.
Good. And I'll pray for your health and your family's health too. You'll be
Thank you
good.
so much. And like I said, if you ever need to reach out, you got my number and my email on
Your
here.
brain. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be tossing things like, what do you think? What about that? You know, because that helps me.
I'm
I
here. I'm here. I'm available.
value your opinion too, and vice versa. If you ever need me too, I'm on your team. No, no, I'll be there in a heartbeat. Because
Thank you so much. And I'd love to learn more about the documentary because I'm all about that.
that's like my baby. That's something I'm like. I don't really talk to many people. Like I'm really being nitpicky about who I want to help with that whole thing
That's a hit.
because
That's a
it's one
hit.
of the top five, one of the top 5 hip hop documentaries that people want.
That's definitely a hit. That's definitely a hit. Just got to do it right.
Exactly. It has to be done with genuine people that have that. Not don't see the money, but see the story behind it that needs to be told. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it. It was nice talking to you. Have a good night, Kate.
All
I'll
right.
talk
You
soon.
too. All right. God bless.
Hang this up. I don't know how to do this.
Let's stop.
Okay.
Let's stop. All right. Bye.